Fanspeak, where the plan runs deep. The team grind hard, don't eat, don't sleep. From best ball dreams to DFS streaks, they help you print money every single week. Fanspeak. No cap, no gimmicks, we breaking limits. NFL bets, yeah, we live this business. Megan Steve, that OG vision. Draft room killers on a lifelong mission. More stress to the Sunday spread. Fanspeak's that voice that's inside your head. Best ball, DFS, NFL bets. They built it brick by brick, no regrets. Fanspeak team, printing money since day one. Fanspeak, forever.
Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of the Talking Ball Steve-O Speak. I got a special guest today with PPR Tyler. I was on his stream a couple weeks ago. We talked running backs and tight end rookies. Today, we're going to talk wide receiver and quarterbacks or quarterback rookies, and then get into some drafts and have some fun. And, both PPR, Tyler and I are big into rookies, big into the big board season. Hopefully you've been watching his stream. He's been breaking down rookies at every position. And I believe you said you finished up with your wide receivers, and you're going to, finalize that today on your stream, right?
Yeah, I've watched most of the guys I want to watch. There's a couple of guys I kind of haven't gotten totally to, like guys like Sterling from Ole Miss. Like I have the kind of those really like kind of day 3 guys, but all the guys I think are going to go day 2, I've given a watch. So
okay, all right. Let me bring over a Google sheet so we can write these in. And I did this exercise with Duhames a couple weeks ago, and I've definitely even changed my wide receiver ranks a little bit since then. Not necessarily at the top, but just looking more at some of these guys, some things are just becoming more apparent for me. All right. So let's actually just do quarterback first, because it is, there's no surprise. It's Mendoza.
Just put the top 2 for us. We're good there. I'm good on the top 2. Top 3. Well, I'm curious to see who you got. Are you Simpson too?
Yeah, I'm Simpson, okay. But I actually, if you ask me purely like from a underdog drafting standpoint, I'm not high on Simpson. I think he's going to have like that Carson Palmer, Patrick Mahomes, just totally sit for a year. He should.
100%. Yeah. I haven't drafted it once.
Third.
I'm Nuss. I'm Nussmeyer here. I love Nussmeyer. I think he's got a lot left.
We didn't spell that right. So we'll just go Nuss.
Let's go Nuss. It's fine. He's got a lot left in the tank. I think injuries kind of plagued him this year. Super dysfunctional team. Like everything that kind of went wrong. Like they don't really even have any good receivers either. Their O-line sucked. Every LSU fan will tell you how fucking bad their O-line was last year. And I just think he's good, man. Like I just think he's a really good QB, and I'm excited to see kind of him, I hope he goes to like a good team. His dad, obviously, the OC for the Saints. Yeah. So he comes from that football family. By all accounts, was kind of like the man at the Manning Pass Academy this past season. And I think I feel like he understands the game. Exactly. I heard there was a Senior Bowl. I heard Todd McShay talking about how he was talking to, I forget who the coaching staff was down at the Senior Bowl, but him and another guy were having one of the coaches, whoever was calling plays, they were having like a high level football conversation about like why he didn't throw it here, but like all that. Like I just feel like he has a really good feel. He's played a ton of college ball, played some really good college ball. Like obviously was kind of in the first round running going into this year. So I could totally see him being like one of like those. I don't know where he's going to get drafted. He's probably not Mr. Irrelevant, and it's hard to compare someone to Brock, but it kind of feels a little Brock Purdy-ish. Like they have similar-ish games. They're probably about the same size, maybe. Yeah. Not going to blow you away from the arm talent department. He doesn't have any like crazy tools. I just feel like he's a guy who understands the game, can throw on time, and he just is kind of like a field general out there. You know what I mean? So I could totally see him being a quarterback in this league for a long time. Back up, maybe, he gets an opportunity where he can like kind of become a fringe starter or something like that. So I really like Nuss as the 3. I think he's like the clear 3 for me. There's a couple other guys that I like, but I like Nuss at 3.
Yeah, and I actually think the Brock comparison is very interesting because, going into Brock's senior year, definitely seen as a down quarterback year, but he was considered much higher. He was considered more like a late day two prospect, like maybe a third rounder. And then he had a really bad senior year. threw a ton of interceptions, and he just plummeted in the draft. But he ends up being the best quarterback by far from that class, in part because that class was bad. But yeah, he's a good quarterback, and he just won somebody $2 million in BBM. So I think Brock Purdy's a really good comp for him. And like you said, just to me, I look at Nuss as super high floor, the NFL background with his dad, and just being around the game. And Paul mentions Nuss is starting games this year. Book it, and it's like if he goes to a situation where that's an opportunity, I absolutely think so, because I feel better about him than most rookies, not just this year, but in any year. Like Nuss versus Will Howard or Riley Leonard, and Riley Leonard did have to start a game last year. Give me Nuss. Like I just think he's got a higher floor, good processor, not going to wow you with the biggest arm, not going to wow you with speed or anything like that, but does enough of everything that, like you said, fringe starter or like long-term backup. And I kind of see, especially with Chambliss out of the draft now, I think Nuss could very well go second round just from now the issue with drafting him is if he goes to the Rams and the Rams say he's our Stafford future, like he's got no fantasy value. But if he goes to a team like the Dolphins, let's say the Dolphins don't do much in free agency, and can I think he beat out Quinn Ewers? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And what if he goes to like Dolphins is a good poll, but like he could totally be like, a day, he's probably an early-ish round 4 or 5 guy would be my guess of where he probably goes. Maybe
I think that's probably where he should go, but in this class, I feel like somebody pulls him into the day too.
Yeah, 100%. But so I could totally see him being like kind of like a Brady Cook situation almost, where it's like they go with like a really bad vet for a bad team, and then you just put the rookie in there just to kind of see what he's got. Like, so I could totally see him being like, Browns kind of a weird situation with all the guys they got there, but Browns, Jets, let's see what the Cardinals do. Dolphins is a good shout. Couple different teams, where it's like, I could see Nuss maybe getting some run. Maybe he just goes to the Saints. Maybe he's the Saints backup.
That'd be hysterical.
He gets to play with his dad. It's the brownie of the NFL.
The NFL, yeah. All right. So who would be your 4?
It's there's a couple different guys I like. I mean, we're assuming Trinidad's not in here.
I think it's pretty official now. He won his
wasn't the NCAA going to appeal, because he appealed the court case, and I think someone was going to appeal his decision, right?
Yeah. I
have no. I'm just assuming he's not in here. And
I think he's pretty unlikely. And even if he is at this point, by the time he gets into the process, it's like no way.
I'm this one. I don't know if this one will shock you or not. It's between 2 guys for me. It's not fucking Carson Beck. I hate Carson Beck, so I'll just get that out of the way. I'll just tell you who it's between. It's between Altmaier and Sawyer Robertson.
Okay.
And I think it's Sawyer Robertson. Big body, a really good arm. Played some really good ball at Baylor. Like I think he's actually, a little more. But yeah, I think he's a fun guy. But Altmaier's right there. I really do like them. I'd probably have them tied if I had my own rankings. But Robertson and Altmaier are 2 of the guys that I think are kind of fun in this class. Like at this point, like I'm just not like Taylon Green's the guy that gets thrown around, kind of a project, fun traits, but I couldn't really see him. And there's like the Aller and Klubnik out on both those guys. And then I hate Carson Beck. So it kind of comes down to Robertson or Altmaier. I think I'll go with Robertson.
So Robertson, if we went down to 5, I think he'd be my 5. I'm gonna move up Cole Payton.
Okay.
I think he's a project. I think he's a project,
baby.
Yeah, I think he's a project for sure. But I think he was impressive down at the Senior Bowl. And probably like a 4th rounder in my guess, 4th, 5th rounder. And I think Sawyer Robinson's around the same ballpark. I just think Peyton probably has a little bit more upside. And Altmaier is also kind of in that mix as well. But like Carson Beck, if you need somebody to start a game or come in as a backup next year, Carson Beck I think would be fine. But he is to me no upside as like a long-term starter or development guy or anything along those lines. And the same things with guys like Drew Aller and Clay Klubnik. I mean, Aller has some tools, but boy, did things go so bad.
Yeah. I'm looking at I got Cole Payton pulled up on PFF right now. Every like one of like his like graphs they have on there is like dark. He has a deep grade. You know what his deep grade is on PFF? It's
No.
99.9. I've never seen anything that fucking high before.
You're right.
That's pretty crazy. Like everything is in the 90s or higher. His pressure grade's 90, his passing grade's 94, intermediate grade 92, no pressure grade 94. He was sixth in deep yards among all quarterbacks this year, which is crazy because they don't throw the ball there. They actually just don't throw it. So that's kind of crazy. And then he was also first in the nation in big time throw rate at 11.3%. So obviously the competition is the thing there, but it's like, he's still pretty fun.
Also, sample size, like clearly when he ripped it well.
But, yeah, right. And he only really played 1 year. This is his only year really starting. So 16-4 TD to pass, TD to interception ratio, 71%. Only like 2,700 yards, which is good, but nothing crazy. So
yeah. All right, now I think it's the wide receivers.
Okay, let's get after
it. We're here for.
Let's get after it.
Go. Who is your one?
It's Lemon. It's Lemon.
All right.
Who do you got?
I'm Tyson.
Okay, you're Tyson.
Yeah.
Are we factoring in the medicals here?
So
I'm just going off the tape.
I'm factoring in that he clears medicals. Like okay. There's no doubt there's medical history there. But I'm assuming at the combine no major red flags come up is how I'm playing it. Now, like 2 weeks from now at the combine, we hear there's a major red flag. I'll move him down.
Mm-hmm.
Is my take. Let me give my first on Tyson, and then I want to definitely hear your take on Lemon and on Tyson. But my take on Tyson is he has the highest upside of this group. Like I think this is a strong wide receiver class. I've actually comped it kind of favorably to 2022, the Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Jameson Williams. And I kind of think it's the same thing with these three guys. And JMO would have been the one if he didn't blow out his knee in the national championship game. And I think we have three guys who are kind of should be drafted between pick 5 and 15, and then some other first round talents. And that year is Traylon Burks, Dotson, and Olave is the first rounds. But the second round was really strong that year. Christian Watson, Wandale, George Pickens, Alec Pierce. We did have some busts like Tyquan Thornton and Sky Moore, but it was a pretty deep receiver draft class. Even Romeo Doubs in the 4th round. Yeah, I feel like there was a solid 3rd rounder as well. The names escape me, but I kind of think this class is similar. Like you've depth through, probably the 3rd round in this class. I don't know if any of these are alpha ones. There's no Jamar Chase in this class. There's no Mike Evans or somebody like that. Like there's we can talk about certain guy here or there who's a facsimile of that, but not the alpha that you're looking for. But that's fine. Like I think these are good receivers, but I think Tyson has the highest upside of the receiver group. I love his ability to get open and make just make big time plays. I know people worry about the missed tackles, but some of that is because he just dusts corners and has them like falling over themselves, and he's just wide open. So I just feel he also, of probably maybe every receiver we talk about, he might have had the worst quarterback play in this class. Definitely one of the worst. And I think he made the most of it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with anything you said on Tyson. I think he definitely has the highest upside, just kind of like the way his body's built. I mean, he's listed 6'2", 200, so he's compact, but he's tall. He's unbelievably shifty. I think his release is pretty special. That's kind of like when I think of Tyson, I think of like his releases and kind of setting guys up. So I agree with you there. I think he's also definitely like I think we'll see what your top 3 is, but think of the big 3, if kind of consensusly, he probably has the highest bust rate of just because like the injuries aren't great. I think just like he's not like I feel like people say that like he's like this unbelievable yak guy, and he's really not. Like his yaks, he was 4.3 in yards after catch per reception, which was 353rd among all like receivers. And granted, that goes for a lot of guys, but 353 is not great. 6 missed tackles forced last year, which is tied for 277. But he's a really good route runner. I think he's probably one of the best route runners in this class. And it's not to say that he's not like, because he's explosive. I just wouldn't say he's explosive after the catch, more say like you're not, I just don't know if he's like a screen guy and he just gets a ton of, like yards that way. I don't know if he necessarily know if he's like a gadget guy in like the way that some of these other guys we'll talk about are. But he's my number 3. I acknowledge that what's there. I think I just am so in love with Lemon because Lemon is a guy, man, this dude, I just don't think like if he was 6 foot, I think he'd undebatably be the best receiver in this class. But
I agree.
But he's like 5. He's listed at 5'11", but he might be 5'10".
It's
like, so obviously the comp there is to be Amon-Ra, and it's like I think the Saints GM said at Mickey Loomis was like you don't want to make a habit of drafting outliers, which is kind of what Mekhi would be if he gets taken with a top 10, top 12 draft capital. Like that's what you're drafting, be a pretty special player. But everything he did on the field this year, and it was kind of like his true breakout year. I mean, he had 1,100 yards. Last year he had 700. So kind of just took a massive jump this year, which some people are like, oh, he didn't do it all 3 years. But it's like he still had an unbelievable year this year. And just kind of the same stuff I was just talking about with Lemon. He had 21 missed tackles forced this year, tied for 12th in the nation. He also had a ton of deep catches. He's tied for 5th. Like despite the size, this guy doesn't play like he's 5'10". The contested catches he made this year, and it's like you look at some of them, and it's like, oh, it's an outlier. Does it tell the whole story? Like a guy I don't even know if we'll get to is Jacoby Lane, where it's like his high. If you just pulled up like the best 10 plays of every receiver in this class, you probably think Jacoby Lane's a first-round pick. But you go and look at the contested catch rate, and it's like, and you kind of look at obviously more of the stuff that he didn't convert. Like he's actually not even that good of a contested catch guy. I forget exactly what it was, but it's pretty poor. Whereas Lemon, on the other hand, his contested catch rate this year was 66.7%. And what you see on film matches what the numbers are saying. 3.3 yards per route run. He only had 2 drops on 108 targets this year. So he earned a shit ton of targets with another guy who's probably going to get drafted. Granted, I don't think he's that good. And I actually like Maava. I like Maava watching a little Lemon. But yeah, I just think he's the best receiver from a football perspective. Like what I think he can be. He just feels like a guy who, if he's just like his comp's a Amon-Ra ish. But that's the if everything goes unbelievable for him. But even kind of just he just feels like an Amon-Ra, like a Cup, he can play outside too. It's just I don't know. I really like Lemon and everything he did this year at USC. So he's my number 1, undisputably number 1.
Yeah. I mean, he's my number 3, but I will say this, these top 3 are extremely close for me. And that's why I gave the comp of the 2022 where it's Garrett Wilson, London, and JMO, who cares? They're all extremely good receivers. And I think it also kind of that class. It depends on what you're looking for. My only knocks on Lemon is what is his size? Because 5'10" might even be generous. Yeah. And the other thing is, while he can play a little outside, he is a primary slot.
100%.
And most of those guys you are generally targeting, even good ones, are 2nd, 3rd, 4th round guys. And I also think you need the right offense for him to work in. Not every offense is willing to feature the slot the same way. And it's offense could, I think there's a skill difference between these 2 guys, but offense could be the difference between him being Amon-Ra or him being Khalil Shakir. And I say that liking Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir is a good slot receiver. But it's, and that what I like about Lemon is that's his floor, right? He is, at worst, you get one of the best pure slot receivers in the league and can be your number 2 or number 3 weapon on a team. And so I love his floor. And I just want to know the rights, him getting the right landing spot for being that ceiling. So that's the only kind of knocks I have on him. But I think these guys are very close. So who is your 2? And I think you can guess who my 2 is from.
Tate. Carl Tate.
So we're both at Tate with 2.
Yeah. You put Tyson down for 3.
That's
3.
what I figured.
Yeah. You want to start with Tate or should I?
You can start with him.
Okay. I think one of we're talking just ball skills and just straight up catching the football, probably the best in this class. This guy makes, I think, just his his catch radius, the ridiculous catches, the sideline awareness, the way he kind of attack. Like there's a lot of receivers who don't attack the football. He like just sticks his fucking mitts out there and just plucks this thing out of the air. It's truly like special to watch if you kind of appreciate what he's doing, because he makes it look so easy, so you don't even really notice that it's like how special it is until you watch a guy like Zachariah Branch, who is allergic to catching the ball with his hands. But it's like he had 0 drops last year, at 0. So there's that, and the volume isn't like great. Obviously, he dealt with some injuries. He wasn't the same after. I think he like gutted the Michigan game out. Obviously, wasn't the same against Indiana or Miami, or just didn't really look. I think the injury stuff kind of hampered him, but kind of what he did in what he played, 11 games, 800 yards, and he had an 85% contested catch rate, which is insane. Granted, so it was 12 out of 14 opportunities. He converted 12 of them, which is crazy. The year before he was 6 for 10. So he's kind of all like, again, not that much like opportunity, but like still pretty good metrics nonetheless. And like he just feels like the outside version of what Igbuka was, like where it's like it's a guy who got like in 2023 he's playing with Marv and Igbuka. 2024 he's playing with Jeremiah Smith and Igbuka, and this year he was kind of it's him across. He kind of gets to be that too, kind of like what Igbuka was last year. He gets to be the two, just in like a different kind of role. And like again, the catches this guy makes, like the ones against the one against Wisconsin was insane. He is the one that week 1 against Texas where he just kind of like his ball skills are what really excites you about a player like this. He feels like the safest player. You know exactly what it's going to be. He's a good deep threat. He's going to be like that pure X, just dominate like those outside routes. And the speed's going to be the thing where it's like when he tests at the combine, how fast does he actually run? I think he runs like people were making fun of me where I was like, because I had heard that like he had ran in like the 4.6s, and I'm like, he doesn't look 4.6 slow. He looks like 4.5 fast. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of like
I'd be shocked if he ran the 4.6s. He definitely seems to glide much better.
I think he's probably. I think if he ran low 4.5s, that'd be a good time for him. So yeah, I just love Tate, man. He's just so solid. He feels so just like smooth in the way he plays. So I love Tate. I think he's definitely worthy of being the number 2.
Yeah, and I think that is why I have him 2 above Lemon. Why I think Lemon is very safe also and has a high floor, like I mentioned, like a great slot. Tate can play outside, and that is just generally more valuable in most offenses. And I think he can play either outside spot. And I like you said, he is maybe the most natural hands catcher in this class. Just everything looks natural and everything looks easy for him. So I really like him a lot. I think these 3, I truly don't know if there's a wrong answer with these 3. And that's why in underdog drafts, they all go within a round of each other. And I'm just taking all 3 because I think landing spot ends up being the biggest determining factor, who is the most value, and how they end up being deployed.
Yeah.
So, I think we're similar. Obviously it's just a little bit Tate versus Lemon and type thing. So I think now where things could start to diverge some. Who is your 4?
Oh, diverge. I had Boston. I think it was the consensus 4. Who's your guy?
That's mine as well. So it'll be the next spot where things diverge.
Okay. You can start with Boston.
Yeah, I mean, son of David Boston, so NFL bloodlines there, at Washington, and just had 2 years, but his first 2 years he was behind one of the most ridiculous college receiving cores you'll ever find, regardless of what they've done in the NFL. Rome, Polk, and McMillan, to say nothing of Jeremy Bernard, who we'll talk about in a bit. Yeah. And but these last 2 years, Boston with kind of subpar quarterback play. He's a 6'4", 210-pound X receiver, going to be a red zone, end zone weapon. And run vertical to an extent. He's not like and this is why he shouldn't be comped to Mike Evans, because he does not have Mike Evans 4.3 speed. Early days Evans. Now he might be more like Mike Evans now, but I just think he's a good ascending receiver. I think he still needs to refine a little bit, like some of his route running stuff, but overall, I think he's exactly what you're looking for to be a X receiver and particularly be a red zone weapon, which is also why I like him for like underdog. And I like the fact that we get like a 40 pick discount from him from the top 3 guys.
Yeah.
And as I've said, he might go just 5 picks after, whether it's Tyson or whoever the third guy ends up being drafted. He might only go 5 to 8 picks after them in the actual NFL draft.
That's the thing about Boston, where like I think he's one of the best just sort of values of any of the rookies on underdogs, because like you said, he goes and he still falls. Like he's one of those guys where it's like he has an ADP, but you can get him like 10 picks after too. For some reason, people do not like Denzel Boston, and he's a lock first round pick. For everything that I've seen, I haven't seen one probably mock draft that doesn't have him in the first round. So it's like, okay, and if he's probably like a mid to late first round pick, he's probably going to go to a good team. He's probably going to go to a pretty decent team who values the receiver position. So it's like he seems like kind of like one of the best picks on underdog right now. And you said it. He's kind of got like the Evans type play style. Obviously not as fast. He's got good hands. He had 4 drops in his 4 years at UW. And yeah, I just think he's a really, really good player. Like obviously the contested catch stuff, 76% for him last year. It's funny too, because when you dive into it, he converted on 9 of 12 opportunities. The year before, he was 12 of 22 for 54%. So he's probably, his true one's probably somewhere in between there, like 60 to mid 60%, which is still really good for him. And he just like dramatically improved his yards per route run this year with that QB. What's his? Is he back at Washington? What's his deal again? Where did he go? Because he had that whole drama thing where he backed out of his
don't
deal.
know what they finalized with that or not.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal was.
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
Yeah, whatever. Not here to talk. I don't even remember his name. I forget it exactly. It's like
Damon Williams.
Yes, that's what it was. Yes. But yeah, so Denzel Boston, he seems like he's of the Carnell Tate like tree. He just doesn't have like I don't think he'll run as fast, and he doesn't have he has really good ball skills, but I think Carnell Tate's ball skills are like generational, like the way he gets to the football. So it's kind of the same type. I think Denzel definitely got used in the red zone more though. Like seemed like a just clear red zone threat. So I like that about him too. But yeah, Denzel Boston, like he's the man. So I like him at 4 for sure. All
right. Who's your 5?
I go back and forth because it's both of my guys, but let's roll with Omar. Omar Cooper is going to be the 5. Omar Cooper. I mean, who do you got? And then I'll dive into Omar.
I'm going Casey Concepcion.
Okay, good. I was hoping you wouldn't do Bernard, because then I couldn't claim myself as the biggest Bernard fan. But yeah, Omar Cooper, man, this guy, man, I just don't know how more people weren't talking about him. I feel he's starting to get some buzz now. He's like starting to go high on underdog now. You can get him like the 20th round guaranteed. Now he's going like that 17 round range. I think good combine, more exposure. He's just gonna kind of break out a little bit more. But a really good season at Indiana. Like he kind of took over where it's like, again, it's kind of the same knock as like the Lemon thing, where it's like he literally moved. Like last year in 24, he played everything out wide. 247 snaps out wide, only 24 in the slot. This year he completely switches to the slot. He plays 324 in the slot and only 61 out wide, and he just lights it up. He had 930 yards, 13 touchdowns, a really good yards per route run. Like he was just a pretty good like yards after catch per reception too. He was 4th in the nation in missed tackles forced, like a true like kind of not like that's the thing. Like this is why I like him over Concepcion. And I'm not saying Concepcion is just a gadget guy, but I feel like Omar is just kind of a better receiver with some of the gadgety stuff to go along with it. He's probably not as fast. He's probably not as electric or like kind of make you miss type of thing. But he's just like so. I love his build. He's listed at 6 foot 204. He's kind of like that compactly built receiver. Like I just feel like I've seen these guys before in the league. I feel he's gonna be a better slot than he probably was outside, but he can play both. And I just love him, man. I think some of the ridiculous catches he made, some of the like the pickles that he got out of, like I think it was the Northwestern game. Just an insane, like just like has to come back for the ball, makes 10 guys miss and scores a touchdown. Like I think he's got some truly special stuff in there that a team is going to absolutely fall in love with. So I think I also like him too, just because his price is so goddamn good. But yeah, Omar Cooper is my 5, and that's my dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would just put it here. I have Cooper at 7, so it's not like we're talking world of difference here.
Mhm.
And no, I agree with everything you said. I do think while he did play outside, and I think he has some skill set to play outside, and actually maybe even a little bit more than Lemon, more from a size standpoint that he can hold up outside. Um, but it is notable that his production jumped massively with the move inside to the slot,
Yeah.
and Indiana does have good outside receivers, not just Surratt, who we'll talk about shortly, but I can't remember the other guy
White guy.
yeah, really came on for them
I
this
forget
year.
his name too, but yeah.
Um, that receiver core was low key excellent. And help Mendoza, help win the national title. So it's not like a knock on Surratt, but I do, when you see that big of a gap in like their production, and while he produced okay last year, he's kind of a 1-year wonder. And so that's like just the slightest of knocks. I do think he's going to run well at the combine. I think he's going to look great in the drills at the combine. So I could see his stock going up. And you do hear some people, I think Dane Brugler has him like ranked 28th or 29th. So like as a first round guy. And it's not going to shock me if he even goes ahead of Concepcion or a couple other guys. But I just think the way he's going to be used, you should be primarily focused on him as a slot to me. And nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of great slot receivers in the NFL, but not as many teams have that need is I guess the way I look at it. Just because it's easier to fill. But no, I think he's great. And I think everything you said, he also, just is tough as nails. Like some of those catches, just coming through in the clutch, willing to take the hit. I love seeing that. And I think coaches are going to love him. And I think this is just the way Indiana players were coached. But they both him and Surratt feel like some of the more NFL ready wide receivers that we see. Their releases, their route running, I think are very good. And so no, I'm really excited for him. I'll give my spiel on Concepcion, then I want to hear a bit of yours. Is I do think before this year he was almost solely a manufactured touch guy. He goes to Texas A&M, and they use him. They still use him in that department some, but we see more vertical routes for him. We see more down the field stuff. I think he's just gotten better as a route runner, and I do think, yes, his hands are the biggest concern, but I also feel like hands are generally overblown. Like we see receivers 1 year can't catch the football and then be the best receiver, catching. I mean, look at an example. I mean, completely different type of receiver, but early in his career, people thought Devontae Adams couldn't catch the ball, including Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would yell for him to get off the field because he didn't believe in him. He's now one of the most sure guys in the league and has been for, last 9 years. So I just feel like that gets a little overblown. I don't know if teams are going to knock him that as much as sometimes we do just watching him because we notice it, but teams realize like that's more fixable, I feel like. But I just think he's so explosive and has the ability to just be such a difference maker in the slot, a little as a flanker as well. Thinking can play outside a little bit just from a vertical speed standpoint. So, like poor man's Brandon Cooks type. That's kind of an extreme comp, but I like him, and I like his development path. Is where I'm at with him.
Yeah. To me, he feels like, and I don't even know who this receiver would be, kind of feels like a little taller and a little bit faster, like Shakir kind of thing. Like I kind of feel like that's kind of how I feel when I watch him a little bit. And yeah, I mean, you already kind of mentioned the drop stuff, but like, yeah, 7 this year, 7 last year, and 5 the year before that. Not good. Not good at all. He also had 3 fumbles last year too, but not this past season, but then he had 0 this year. So that's good for him.
Yeah.
But just like, I think some of the drop turnover stuff, I mean, you don't want to make a habit out of that, especially in the NFL. That'll get your ass on the bench real quick. But yeah, I'll say it. I have Concepcion at all the way down at 8.
Okay.
I'm just lower on him. I just think I just think he's kind of like I just feel like he's like gonna have a Shakir level impact, which is fine. Shakir's like and he was drafted what I think 5th, fourth
Fourth
round,
round,
something
I
like
believe.
that. Something like that. Yeah. So like Shakir's a good player. I don't mind Shakir. I just think like this class it just speaks to how deep this class is. And like, I think there are true, like, guys who like true number twos and like all this stuff. So I'm just a little bit lower on Concepcion. I want to be higher on him. I watched it and I could see how he's just like, I just don't get the sense that he's going to be like this, like, I don't know, like when I think of like really good number twos, like could he be Jordan Addison? It's kind of who he's kind of like my measuring stick for like true number wide, like average, really good wide receiver twos in the league. And I just don't know if he's got like the Addison stuff to him personally. I don't know. It's just, I think he's somewhere between probably Addison and Shakir because Addison has some drop stuff too. But I don't know. So I'm just lower on Concepcion. Who's your 6?
So my 6 is Surratt.
Okay. I hate that I put Surratt so low. He's my 9.
Okay.
And I love Surratt. But I don't love him that much, I guess.
Who's your 6?
It's Bernard. It's Jeremy.
Okay.
Jeremy Bernard.
And that's my 8.
Okay. All right, there we go. These are starting to fill these out.
So my take on Surratt is I feel like people are knocking him double. Like everyone knows and fully admits like this is not the fastest guy, right?
Yes.
I feel like people are just like truly knocking him down for that because here's the thing, in today's NFL, we just who was the number 1 receiver this year? Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
He will never run a 4.4. He's never even come close to a 4.4. His apparent time at BYU was like a 4.55. Who did he replace? Cooper Kupp. He ran like a 4.6 at the combine. And I heard your video, and I think also the 13, obviously. But another comp to this type of receiver is Keenan Allen, who ran a 4.7 back in the day.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why these guys went in the 3rd round, like Kupp and Allen, and 5th round, like Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams is another one. He ran like in the mid 4.5s. But the reason why I mentioned, because I think people say like there's no ultimate ceiling to him. And I actually think those are the types of receivers that Surratt could play like, because he's great, similar to Adams, just absolute touchdown monster, right? And Keenan Allen the same way, like in the red zone, just he gets open, he gets the ball, always has, always will. We still saw it this year at age 34, and just a technician route runner, quarterback's best friend. Coaches are going to love him. And what I like about him is 3 straight years of production of 800 plus yards, 8 touchdowns. No other receiver in this class can say that. And including 15 this past year for Indiana. And the other thing was all with Kirk Cignetti, first at JMU and then these last 2 years at Indiana, is with 3 different quarterbacks. So that's the other thing, not just a product of the quarterback. We're talking, who was it? McLeod at JMU, who went to like Texas State or something after he left JMU, and then Rourke last year. So it's like, those are not NFL talents. Like Mendoza obviously is, but the fact that he was able to do it with 3 different quarterbacks, all same system, but 2 different schools, and last 2 in the Big Ten, which is really good competition. That to me shows like this is real. This is more legit. And does he hit that ultimate ceiling like the 4 guys that I mentioned? No, but at least I think there's a blueprint out there of how you can utilize him and get the most out of him. Because he's not going to be running verts and downfield threat, but in that intermediate area and in that red zone, he can just eat and own. And I think he's still a second rounder. I think particularly when coaches get involved in the scouting process, like scouts aren't going to like him because he's going to run a 4.58 or 4.6 or something like that. But I think coaches are just going to look at him and be like, this guy, he gets open, and I know people will knock like the contestants catch stuff, but it's like some of it was his route running, despite being his size, he's shifty enough to just get open and have guys fall down.
Yeah. No, I watched Surratt, and like the first time I watched him, I was going to I just knew like this was a guy the public was going to hate because he's, like you said, he's not fast. But here's the thing is like, I think he's very athletic. He's just not fast. He has good foot speed. It's not like he can't separate. Like I think there's a common misconception between like there's straight line speed and there's not being able to separate. Those are two completely different things, you know? Like, look at a guy like Chris Brazzell. He flies, but he can't separate. So it's like it's kind of one of those things with Surratt. And I love the way he plays the game because he feels like he's good. He's a physical receiver. He's smart. He knows where to get open, especially in zone. Like that like I love that about him. But I think I feel like he's a very kind of like, obviously the ceiling, the absolute ceiling is Keenan Allen. Like that's the hope, that's the dream. But I just feel like he could kind of get stuck in like this possession type of receiver role. He's gonna have to convert on contested catches. That has to be his calling card. And what scares me is this year he was only 35% contested catch rate, converted only 7 of 20. But the year before he was 16 of 27. With worse quarterback play. So it's weird how that kind of thing happens. But yeah, so that's the only thing with Surratt is like I kind of wish the contested catch rate was better for him this year, especially since that's supposed to be his calling card. Is like that's how he's going to win in the NFL, is that back shoulder stuff, red zone type stuff. So yeah, I like him. Like I said, I think he's kind of a safe pick. Like I think he could like just hop in. Like he could just be like a guy who gets on the field right away. Not a lot of, development, not a lot of, like learning an offense. Like he's very smart, very crafty. And I keep using the word, and you used it when you were talking about him, is he's a technician. He knows there's no wasted movements with him. He knows exactly what he wants to do. And he does a pretty good job of getting there. I worry that he's going to get lumped into a certain role at the next level, but he's still my top 10. So I still like him.
Yeah. Where do you think he ends up going in the draft?
Oh, it's tough. It's like you want to do like the Ohio State thing last year, where it's like, oh, Chip Kelly's the OC for the Raiders, so of course they're going to draft an Ohio State guy in the second round. Where now it's like, oh, do Cooper or him go to Indiana because he's going to be with Mendoza? I don't know. It's just like I feel like any of these guys, like he's going to go day 2, but like where in day 2? It's just who freaking knows? It's like everyone we talked about is going to go day 2, but like Omar Cooper could go third round, he could go first round. I think Bernard could go first round, he could go third round. I think Concepcion is probably a top 2 round pick. Just kind of the way I think people talk about him and like the traits and stuff. But yeah, I think he's a mid second to mid third round pick. It would be my guess for Surratt.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I say it too. Like, it's not going to shock me if Omar Cooper is above him, maybe even Bernard. I think he just comes in one of the most NFL ready, and I think his red zone role is a little stickier. Like look at Tesla last year. Like Tesla barely saw the field, but just caught touchdowns. Yeah, and like that could be Surratt's floor. But the one team I do want to mention, and I mentioned on my stream, is for both Omar Cooper and Surratt, is the Steelers. Big time wide receiver need. Also, they just hired Kirk Cinnetti's brother as on their offensive staff. So
okay, I could totally see Surratt being a Steeler. He'd be the perfect Steeler. Just a guy who gets it done.
So Meg, he did not play in the Senior Bowl. So
no.
By the way, he's like
Charlie Becker. I knew his name was Charlie.
He's going to be fun to watch going forward. And I will say there's a lot of great comments. Just want to get through this, and then we'll get the comments a little bit more as we draft. So I appreciate all the comments, and but I did want to highlight a few of those. So, okay, who is your...
Well, can I do my thing on Bernard quick?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is my guy. This is like my number one guy. I want to have him above Omar. I want to have him 5. He's like I've said it from like, I think since December. He's my not my Ray Davis. Ray Davis is one of the guys too. He's my RJ Harvey this year. I fucking love this guy. I think he's just like, I think he has a blue chip trait. And I kind of stole this from that franchise guy I was talking about. I mean, he had him at 6'2", so that made me feel good. But he also had Omar Cooper too, which is crazy. But I totally agree with him. Like Bernard's body control and spatial awareness is like I keep comping him to like this, like he's the receiver version of Harold Fannin, where like he's not gonna wow you in this the speed department. He's not the twitchiest guy. He's got a really good frame. I mean, he's listed at I think 6'2", 6'1", 200, like 204. So he's got a really good frame. He's just kind of like almost feels like the jack of all trades, but like you just get this guy the ball and he's going to make magic with it. He's a little gadgety, I will admit. I think he's got to go to the right place, but like I think he's kind of landing spot dependent. I talked about this on my stream where it's like, if I'm just going to stick with the Harold Fannin comp, like Harold Fannin went to the best possible spot he could have gone, where a guy who was like, okay, I see we're going to draft this guy and I have an exact vision of how I'm going to use him. And now we're drafting as like the tight end 5 on Underdog this year. Like that's kind of what Bernard feels like. Where like, I think he's going to be, he can play outside. I mean, he took 335 of his snaps out wide this year, but he kind of feels like a slot guy at the next level, like just kind of the stuff he can do. He had 1 drop this year, so he's got really good hands. And then he had 17 missed tackles forced. And I just think he's a really good player. Like he just gets on the field, and it's like the yards per route run is not great. The contested catch stuff's not great, I'll admit. But like I said, I don't think that's not his, like, he doesn't win on contest. Like he's not a contested. He's not known for contested catches. He's not known for being like this ultra target dominator. He's just a really good football player. You got to get the ball in his hands. And if you want to talk about, I know we were talking about Boston earlier, like, and I think we'll get to it now. He played at Washington, like got on the field at Washington. He had 337 yards, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you take into account that he was playing behind Rome Odunze, Jalen Polk, and Jalen McMillan all day 2 picks. Yeah. And was like making plays in the national championship game, like on the field during that playoff run. Like, I just think a coaching staff's going to fall in love with this guy. He's definitely a film guy. He's not an analytics guy. And, there's some give and take there, but I just watch him and I just pray, if he goes to a good landing spot, I don't see how this guy is just not like one of the most of course Bernard was going to be good. Like he was the best player in Alabama last year, better than Ryan Williams. So
exactly.
I love Bernard. And I won't be able to stop talking. I just love him. So that's my number 6.
No, I mean, I'm just a few spots lower, and I'm super bullish on him as well for that reason. I mean, he just outperformed Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams had more production, the previous year, but he also was getting featured more. Like Bernard just earned the targets. I feel like he earned everything that he did. And also 2 years ago, it was a little better this last year with Ty Simpson, but 2 years ago was Jalen Milroe quarterback. Yeah. They were not a good passing offense by any stretch of the imagination. So I know he went with DeBoer to Alabama, but and obviously Penix was leaving Washington regardless, but he went from a much better quarterback situation with Penix to a worse one in Milroe. And I like him a lot. I think he's more than just a schemed up touch guy. I think, he can do that. But like you said, I think he's more like a physical interior slot guy. A few shades of Puka. Like the low end.
Like Rice to me, a little Rice.
Yeah.
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 Hopefully not the off the field stuff.
Yeah. I think I just think he is another guy who coaches are going to love. Like I like looking for these types of guys who, when coaches get involved, they focus on, because those are the guys who generally get on the field more. I don't think he's got this massive ceiling, but I think he is a steady, second or third option on a team. And I think he is second round in the NFL draft. So I love his current ADP, and I will keep taking him. Like these guys, and the 3 we just talked about, Surratt's now going to 170s. Cooper, he's listed like 198, but more you have to get him in the 180s. And then Jeremy Bernard listed like 233. Sometimes have to get him around 200, but I just feel like there's a lot of value there, because I think they're pretty NFL ready, and definitely more NFL ready than just about everyone else we're going to talk about, what you could even talk about. And maybe even more NFL ready than a Concepcion. I think Concepcion does have in my opinion, has a little bit more of a ceiling, but that's about it. I think there is a lot to like with Jeremy Bernard, and like I said, I think coaches are going to absolutely love him when they start getting involved.
All right, you want my 7? This one might shock you a little bit. This one, I might floor you with this one. We'll see. Was watching him on stream, got booted off. They didn't want us to watch him. So I watched his Virginia stuff, and I was like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this guy. Then I go back and I watched the Notre Dame stuff, and I was blown away. Start doing more research into this guy. Found out he's probably the best run blocking receiver in this class as well. At least like top 2, if not number 1. It's Malachi Fields. This guy, I think, is such a fun player for me. He's 6'4", 220, really good speed for his size. Had 1 drop last year, and I just think like I could just totally see how he's like I could just totally see him being like how he translates to the next level. He knows who he is. He's a red zone threat. I think like he's that deep shot guy. He's not going to be like an X who dominates like a ton of, routes. He's not going to probably ever be like a number 1, but I think he could have like a really, really good role in the NFL. Like I almost want to I don't want to say like, I wouldn't comp him to like kind of like a Mike Williams-ish, like that kind of player where he's like, and again, Mike Williams got drafted way higher than kind of what he ended up being, but like just like that's kind of like that. I could see that being like, if everything goes right for Fields, I could totally see him being like a Mike Williams type of player, where it's like it's mostly deep threat stuff, but like he can totally like he can be the one in certain weeks, but you probably don't want him as like your number 1 long term. I just think he's a really good deep threat, big body receiver who, again, I think is going to be on the field because he blocks his ass off in the run game. Go watch Jeremiah Love highlights, and he's blocking his ass off for him in that stuff. So he had 17 yards per reception last year, and the stats actually went down, but like he just wasn't featured as much. So they ran the shit out of the ball down there.
2 best running backs.
Exactly, right? So it's like, and if you want like the stats, like he had 800 yards in 23 and 24 with Virginia, where I thought like they just didn't use him right. Like they just like they're like, hey, like run these drags and these stops and like these everything in the middle of the field. Like we're gonna take away like literally what you do best and like try and make you into something you're not. Where it's like I think you like the stuff at Notre Dame, you could see where he kind of wins, like how he's really good in the NFL. So I like Fields a lot. And it's probably a little bullish to have more of a Concepcion and Surratt, who feel kind of like I would granted by like safer guys to rank him above. But I love Fields. Maybe it's a recency bias thing, but I really, really like him. So I have him that high for a reason.
No, I mean, as you see, I just put him in at 9. Like, so
okay, I thought you have him lower, so I feel good about that. That makes me feel better.
He's one of the guys who I moved up. Like I had him like 2 weeks ago with Hoohinge. I think I had him at 11.
Good senior bowl for him too. He had a really good senior bowl.
Good senior bowl, and it was because I'm from Virginia, so I watched a lot of his Virginia games, and I thought there's obviously NFL size there. There's some speed there, but you're right. Like UVA did not use him correctly, and also UVA's quarterback play was way worse.
And they went like what they lost like 2 games that year or something, like 1 game that like they were good that year too.
Yeah,
which is
but
weird.
It was just like they didn't know how to utilize him. They try to make him a volume guy, and that's not it at all.
He's not a yards after catch guy. Like 100% not going to make you miss in the open field. But like so I agree with you there.
Yeah, like he's big play or red zone. And that's how he should be utilized. And I actually like the Mike Williams comp because definitely not how Mike Williams was drafted, but how his career evolved. And some of that was due to injuries, but he then became this either 40-yard shot or in the red zone, and he's just going to jump up and get it.
Yeah.
So I like Mike Williams as what he was in the NFL, just hopefully no injuries. And that is Malachi Fields. And I think he's like a 2nd-round pick. I honestly think, I think all 9 of these guys should go in the top 2 rounds. And maybe 1 or 2 others get in that 2nd round as well. But these are the 9 that I'm really focused on drafting. I mix in a few other guys, but these are the 9 that I think have fantasy relevance and upside. I'm a little lower on Fields just in the sense of I kind of agree. He needs to be used correctly. And I think he's still a little bit more raw than some of these other guys that we mentioned.
For sure.
Like I think Bernard and Surratt and Cooper they can be much more plug and play NFL ready. But I like Fields' upside, and also he's a guy to watch where like 2 years from now, if he gets that starting role, he could be fun.
100%. All right.
So we can do the next couple just more real quick because I don't think we're
okay. Let's go to 10 and then maybe we just hammer through some. Who's your 10?
So my 10, I've I have Chris Bell because I do think he goes higher in the draft. If not for the ACL, he would have been pushing 5 for me.
Okay. Yeah.
What's your 10?
It's Chris Bell as well. So we're on the same two thing. I like him. He's a good. The ACL stuff it sucks, but like Louisville yards after catch kind of guy, like mainly a slot guy. I think probably at the next level. Just kind of watching him. I actually watched him last night, but yeah, Chris Bell.
Yeah, and still like I've taken him 2 or 3 times so far, and I'll take him a couple more just because his ACL tear was like 6 weeks earlier than like Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams didn't do much, but did come back and play the second half of the year. So I think you could have that kind of outcome for Chris Bell. And in 20-round format, I'm more interested because obviously we have a couple extra roster spots. So just something that I want to mention, like I'm not going to have like 8% Chris Bell, but I'll have like 2% Chris Bell.
Yeah, 100%. All right, put Branch there. We'll put him there. I get it. I don't love him. I definitely don't.
I moved him way down.
Yeah, that's fine. Honestly, maybe I should too.
Yeah. But I agree. He probably goes second round. That's the only thing that keeps me.
Yeah. He's going to go. Like, I think the NFL will fall in love with he's a gadget guy. I just hate how he leaves his feet when he cuts. It infuriates me. It's like he pauses in midair. It's like, that's just going to get you killed in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is fast. And I think there's some better route running. George is also not wide receiver but they don't use wide receivers look at George Pickens. Like they had that guy on their team and they like turned him into I don't know. They basically made him be like a red zone tight end or some shit. I don't really know. So
yeah. And his time at USC was the same sort of stuff. Like just he's got a lot of
he's fast.
Like raw speed and agility, but man, it just doesn't translate on the field near as much.
And it's funny too because he doesn't even really drop the ball, but he doesn't catch the ball the way I want him to catch it. So it's like I think like Randy Moss always said I caught the ball though. Like he's because Randy Moss was like a body catcher pretty much too. So but he also didn't have a frame of Randy Moss. So exactly. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's also not Randy Moss.
So,
But so I'll put Branch here. Who's your 11 then?
Brazil.
Okay, yeah, Brazil's 12 for me, so we're good there.
Yeah. Like essentially 1 year production with Tennessee, big, fast, vertical guy. I think he's a little better than Dante Thornton. That's kind of how I see him. Like I think there's something to work with, but I think he's kind of more raw.
100%. Yep. All right, we got a 12. Yeah, I have nothing really to add on Brazil. He's fine.
Yeah. This is a guy that I just like, and that's Eric McAllister.
Okay. I didn't know about his gun charges until.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Cody talk about that. I know Cody's in chat. I think that was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. I mean, I don't think that would knock him near as much as say like the Seth McGowan stuff, where he actually went to jail for a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what McAllister runs because I think to me there's some speed there. And he's 6'3", good frame. So I'm interested in him.
All right. Throw Ted Hurst in there at 13 for me.
That's where I have Hurst now.
Let's go. The man. Love Hurst.
My only concern is NFL readiness. Like I think there's a ton of upside there. And I think he actually will probably go higher than McAllister. But I think McAllister's a little bit more polished. But Hurst is fun to watch. It's just obviously played at a little different level.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna have 14 Kevin Coleman Jr. from Mizzou, and then I'll have McAllister at 15 right after that.
Okay. So we can just stop at 15.
Yeah, that's fine.
For me, I'm going to put Jacoby Lane here.
Oh, I was hoping we both have him off the top 15.
It's just there's so much upside if he gets a good wide receiver coach and can like learn the position. Like raw physical talent is there. Kind of like Branch, but 6'4",
Yeah. I'll say I've said this on stream numerous times. I want to say this will be the last time I say it about Jacoby Lane, but it is my favorite. It is the Moneyball thing where he goes, Billy, this is Jacoby Lane. He's 6'4", an unbelievable wide receiver frame, and he makes some of the best catches you'll ever see in the game of college football. His only downside is he cannot catch the football. And he can't get open. He can't get open and he can't catch the football.
Kind of fair. That is kind of fair.
All right,
I did just want to answer Tyler's question. Who would be your guys' fifth quarterback prospect? I mean,
might be Altmaier.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, I probably would just say Carson Beck, just because I think he will be a backup in this league for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like the just very high floor, but no ceiling to me.
Yeah.
So let's get into draft, and we can keep talking. Then we'll start interacting with the chat some more. So let me ditch this and get into a draft.
Let's get after it. How many drafts in are you?
I am was that 34 big boards, couple little boards, and like one war room. So
I've been hitting it hard recently. I'm at 71 total.
Wow.
I gotta slow down.
Yeah. I've been trying to pace myself. All right, I'm gonna count it down from 10. So hopefully we don't have a location error, but entering in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. All right. New room, so I'm guessing a lot of people jumped in early. Uheem says, instead of slowing down, enter DK or drafters. I will start doing more DK and drafters, including some on stream. But haven't really done much of either yet. Aller is just, it was a bad year. I mean, maybe you can, talk about seeing goat. Like it feels like major case of the yips. Like he went from being like an intriguing physical tools quarterback to he can't hit the broadside.
He should have just came out after the Boise State game. He should have just declared right there, or the Oregon game. It was the Oregon game and then the Boise State. He should have literally just declared, I'm going to the NFL. You would have been a second round pick. It would have been all great.
All right, we got S. in here. We got Legion.
Over the Hines name I recognize. Also, I think JT.
Yeah, I
ladies first.
Recognize.
I don't know who ladies first is, but ladies first has been in all my drafts. So I'm
exactly. Me too.
Quite sure, but I know I recognize that because I always make a joke that's BBG's alt account.
So, what do you like to do at the fifth spot?
If JSN's there, I take him. Personally, I just that's kind of I just try not to overthink it. I just kind of the top 5. I'm like, all right, I'll just roll with the ADP here. I usually like to take like Gibbs at 2, so I'm like, sometimes it prevents me from getting like a Puka or a Chase, but yeah, I literally take whoever the ADP is the higher at 5. I just take that player. So
yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like I take Gibbs almost always at 2, but you know,
who do you have at 5? You have JT at 4, and then who's at 5? Oh, Puka's at 5 for you. Who's that?
Yeah. So I have Jonathan Taylor at 4.
I see. Okay, I see. Yeah.
So my ranks, but to me, it's the top 6. Like the top 6, you know, then there's a bit of cutoff.
I agree. Like Chase would be sick here. Whatever. All right. I'm down to go JT if you want. It's fine. I'm down to if you want to go.
I mean, I'm fine either way. Just like it's splitting hairs, really.
All right, let's go JSN because then we're gonna get Jeremiah Love on the way back, and then we'll get another RB. And it'll be great.
So that's one. Like I am not as high taking Love in this area. I will do it, but it is just like.
Oh, you don't like Love?
It's not that I don't like Love. It's I don't like his price. I feel like we've just seen it with. There some rookie running backs, like you have to go back, like, you know, Zeke, who absolutely paid off. You know, I mean, Najee Harris was one of the best rookie running backs we've seen in the last 6 years. It's so much landing spot. We saw it with Genty. You know, my thing is like, and why I think Love is a better prospect than Hampton, but it's not even about that. It's Hampton in the summer had just the best situation. Najee Harris, you know, poked out his eye, and Chargers look to be an extremely good offense with an elite offensive line. This, you know, before the Rashawn Slater stuff, and we were only taking him at 40. 35 to 40. So
Yeah.
you mean to tell me we take Love half without knowing his landing spot? Because if he goes to the Chiefs, which I know who Ames doesn't want, but he goes to the Chiefs, sure, sign me up for Love there. But if he goes to, the Saints, is that as good? Like, do we?
I like him on the Saints. I think he's great in the Saints.
So but are they keeping Kamara? Like, because they could keep Kamara and have the passing role for Kamara, which then limits Love's upside. Like, I want Love to have 3 down upside, 3 down role.
That's fair. That's fair. I get where you're coming from. And I think the Hampton thing, obviously, like
Jeremiah Lust kind of guy.
Yeah. The Hampton thing is I get what you're saying, but yeah, like the whole O-line gets hurt. He gets hurt. Like he was actually doing good when he actually had like the role, and then he gets hurt, which sucked. But then and also too, like I think Love is I like Hampton, but I think Love's a very much a better player than Hampton, especially as a prospect coming out. Like Love, like
I don't question that. But I do think Hampton was first round worthy.
100%. I agree there. I just think Love was like absolutely like Hampton's like what Najee was, kind of that same like what we thought Najee was going to be, at least as a pro. Like Najee was really good coming out. So
yeah, and I mean, if Love comes back to us, like I'm not gonna argue taking Love there. It's just like I feel like we're paying probably his ultimate price, and I'd rather not without knowing the landing spot. Generally speaking,
that's fair. Well, I think Love's going to go here, and then we're gonna you have to go the tight end thing, which I don't love, but I will do. All right, it's Jeremiah Love. I'm forcing you to go Jeremiah Love. Because he can just go to a good landing spot too. Like maybe a team like looks at what the Raiders did and like, oh, this is not a way. Like I do think he could fall a little bit more. I think a team's going to talk themselves into just the talent and like, oh, this is like one of the best playmakers in the draft and like all this stuff. But like there are a lot of building block positions for teams at the top to draft where it's like there are a lot of tackles, there are a lot of edges, there are a lot of corners. Like those 3 positions right there are gonna, I think, interest a lot of teams. It's like I don't want and who Hames doesn't want to go to the Chiefs. I don't want him to go to the Chiefs. That O-line sucks. And yeah, it's Mahomes, and I get it. And I'll talk myself into it. It's not the worst landing spot he could go to. But like if he could if Love falls to like the teens, then we're talking. If he falls to the Cowboys, if he goes to like maybe someone makes a move up for him. Like there were a ton of teams that reportedly wanted to move up for Genty last year. So I don't know. I'm just gonna bet on the talent, and the landing spot will figure itself out.
Where are you here?
Let's go Walker, because it looks like you are dramatically down on Brees.
It's not that I'm down on Brees. It's I mean, to an extent, Walker is staying with Seattle.
Yeah.
Like they're going to franchise him. I worry that the Jets are going to franchise Brees Hall, because my thing is they have a ton of. They should not. It's not smart to franchise running backs. Just given like the franchise tag, it would make him RB3 in terms of average salary, but. The problem is the Jets have a ton of money and they are coaching and, fighting for their jobs. So letting Brees Hall walk for nothing seems dumb. Yeah. And so I worry they do something dumb. And Brees Hall and the Jets, I'm going to be concerned about. If Brees Hall goes to the Cowboys or goes to, any number. Honestly,
I will say, I don't know if he gets franchise tagged. Like, the coaching staff might want Brees Hall back, and they're, I don't think the GM's fighting for his job. The GM just got there. They made a ton of moves where they're accumulating first. They're obviously playing for the future. I feel like that GM deep down knows that like he's going to fire Aaron Glenn after this next season anyway. So he's not going to listen to a fucking word that guy says, because he fired his entire coaching staff for not no reason, but it's like, you fired everyone around you, like maybe you're the problem. You know what I mean? So
I know, like
you just hired these guys 6 months ago. You just fired all of them.
There was something like of the 18 coaches on his staff, like 9 were replaced. Like literally half.
9. That's a lot. It's not because they were getting promotions.
Exactly. Other teams weren't like out to steal them away.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just draft like Brees Hall is gone, because I don't see. That GM's got to be smart down there. You don't like probably I don't even know who it is, but if he's making moves to the future, you're probably like, maybe our resources aren't best spent for Brees fucking Hall.
So where are you with this pick?
I mean, probably Devonta or Lamar or Love, one of the top 3. I'm down for either one.
I like taking Devonta here just because quarterback. We're about to these next couple rounds. I feel they're very bunched together. we could take Devonta and maybe get Hurts. Like there's just a lot of ways that plays. And then Goddard's a free agent, so maybe Devonta's better. I think Devonta's fine even if nothing changes, but you've potentially AJ Brown being traded and potentially Goddard leaving.
Do you have a sophomore running back in this range you like? Because I can never figure it out.
Well, I mean, after Scatterboo goes, no. Like I don't like Hendo and Harvey.
Do you like Scatterboo? You think he's a good pick?
I think Scatterboo's still fine. I mean, there is the injury concern. I would rather Scatterboo go more like here, like in the back half of this round.
Yeah.
Or early 5. But he rarely does. Judkins is okay. But I personally like Swift better than all those guys.
Yeah. All right. It's funny. I never these like all the guys I normally take are just gone. Like I never take Luther or Igbuka. And now it looks like
and Buka's a tough one for me, and that's why I have him lower because I think Mike Evans is back. What do you feel like doing here?
I don't hate Travion. I think he's fine as our third guy, especially if you want to do that. I like Swift though. Travion, Swift, Rome, one of those 3.
Swift is to me, he's just being undervalued right now.
Swift. Yeah, I like Swift. I drafted a ton of him.
Like that offense just got better and better as the year went on.
And it's funny. It's like all the pieces in that offense are getting raised up except for like the starting running back. It's like
exactly.
You know what I mean? Where it's like all these young guys, all whatever, but it's like DeAndre Swift, who like 1,000 yards last year. Would he have like 9 touchdowns or so? Like like I don't know. Like he could just have a better year too. Like he actually got used on the goal line. And Manon guy stole some stuff away too. But like I don't know. I think he's fine.
Even if that continues, like keep in mind Ben Johnson the previous 2 years. His last year with Detroit, in terms of final running back rankings, Gibbs was 3 and Monty was like 15, and he was only 15 because he missed the last 3 games of the year. Like, when at the time he got injured, they were like 6 and 11, and it's like, like I don't think Swift.
Worst case scenario, he's Montgomery. He's the Montgomery role, but like if it's a really good offense, like the fucking ADP would suggest it's going to be, then it's a good pick. Yeah. So I'm in.
Yeah, who games? I've seen this out there, and I just don't think it's true at all. Like that Swift is going to get cut. Like, yes, they could save some money, but they've way better ways of saving money. Like trading DJ Moore. They literally saved more than twice as much by trading DJ Moore, and just some other either cuts or restructures. So. Yeah, I don't think it just doesn't make sense for Ben Johnson to get rid of Swift because, like you said, these other young guys like showed flashes like Burden, Loveland, Rome Odunze for the first half of the year, but Swift was the guy who was like all year was just Mr. Reliable for them. Yeah,
100%. Okay, QB wise here, I don't mind Daniels. I like him over May straight up personally. Damn, Legic's already got 4 RBs. Hell yeah, brother. Daniels goes. Unfortunate. May is fine. I take him. Who else is here? You can go. Let's go Tyson. He's fallen. Yeah, 10 pick fallen Tyson. Hell yeah.
That's a nice value for adding Tyson.
Let's do it. It sucks. It feels like one of the top 3 receivers is going to end up on the Jets or the Browns. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they think better. They think twice. But that's what it feels like. Like the Jets and Browns should 100% be drafting O-line, both of them.
Yeah,
or an edge rusher, one of the 2.
Well, and the problem is this is why I want to just be kind of even with all 3, whether I'm at 8% with all 3 or 10% with all 3. Like I just want pieces of all 3 of those guys because some are going to be really bad landing spots potentially. Like you said, Jets or the Browns. Others could be tremendous landing spots. So, I mean, I like all talents, but. I just think it's pray they don't go to the Browns. I don't see Breece Hall to the Bears because they don't have money and they have to re-sign some defensive guys. So like Breece Hall is going to cost more than Swift, and sure he's better, but I don't think they need it.
You want to go May? It's a pretty good fall.
I think the fall in May makes sense. Like I like DK Metcalf at this range, but fall in May is
Yeah, let's do it.
Tough to pass up.
He's so easy to backstack too. I don't even like drafting Diggs. BG was saying yesterday you like Diggs. What's your Diggs take?
Well, I mean, excuse me. I know Diggs is somewhat of a legal issue, but doesn't sound
That's fine.
say as
He's
bad.
a Maryland guy.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's more like Diggs. Diggs will be another year back, and I know he's another year older, but another year removed from his ACL, and he was pretty good. Like he finishes. I'd have to look it up, like wide receiver 18, and we're drafting him wide receiver 40. So yeah, the Patriots could bring in another weapon and might, but I don't know if it really changes the way Diggs is used and utilized. And just when in clutch moments down the stretch, Diggs and Henry and Ramondre were the guys the Patriots relied on more so. I mean, you can point to this time, Super Bowl, Mac Hollins gets a touchdown, that kind of stuff. But I just think if they're building around May, they're going to keep featuring Diggs for another year.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Yeah, I think I don't think he's a awful click. I just feel like I don't know. He's probably just that click this year where it's like, I don't feel like just super stoked. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got Diggs, but with the stack, and then also like Drake May is fun too because there's not a lot of elite QBs you can take that high and then back stack them. Where like May, it's like you can get the number one pass catcher later. You can get Henry. You can get Kyle Williams if you want to draft Booty. He falls in every draft, or like any free agent rookie. If you like drafting rookies, it's probably a good idea to draft some Pats too. Like they feel like they're gonna have to upgrade that offense because it's kind of was their Achilles heel. I mean, especially in the Super Bowl. So
yeah, I just want to highlight this comment from Index, and he mentions yes, LaFleur, when he was Jets play caller, he was there for Brees's rookie year, so there is a connection there. And Arizona has a ton of money, and we'll have more after the Kyler situation.
Yeah,
what do you like doing here?
Shit, I usually just pull a price, but unfortunately, he's not there. I don't know. You choose somebody. Who do you like? I genuinely have no clue in this range.
I'm going to say Pittman. I know there's ways
yeah.
that he maybe isn't on the Colts, but if so, he's traded. Like he still had a good year. And I actually think he's still like they could find a way to keep him on the Colts. Either way, I think he's kind of safe, and in the 90s, that's a solid fourth option there. Because like these running backs, now we're getting a bit of a fall on Monangai, and that's kind of aligned with my rank, so that's intriguing. But Hubbard, I don't know what Carolina is going to do. I don't really trust Jonathan Brooks. Blake Corum is fine, but he's kind of capped. From an upside standpoint. DJ Moore, I think, gets traded. It could end up better for him, but unknown. Jordan Addison, like how good of a quarterback is coming into Minnesota?
Yeah, I usually click Addison because I feels like the best receiver there, like the best talent. Like when he's good, he's good. I'm a big bet on talent guy, so that's usually just what I end up doing. But
yeah, well, we could do that.
If the none guy's there, let's just do that. We have Swift, man. Bubble Chicago, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine if you want to.
It's fine, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean,
if you never want to do it, you do it a couple of times, you feel fine about it.
Exactly. And like I said, like if there's an offense to do it, it's a Ben Johnson offense. We know how 100%. He utilizes his guys.
Yeah.
You got FK. Diggs also suits the modern NFL where deep passes and ADOT keep trending down year after year. And I do think he's just reliable. And I agree the Patriots are going to upgrade their weapons. But I think Diggs is safe because at worst he's their slot. Like at worst, DeMario Douglas is just totally, dusted out of the slot. Where, whether it's Kyle Williams stepping up, whether it's a free agent, whether it's a draft pick, I think Diggs is probably at worst their number 2 receiver and maybe even number 2 total weapon.
What do you think about the Commanders free agency thing? Because the two, obviously, everyone's talking about Rachaad White is officially a Commander already. They've already anointed him a Commander. Also, IU can play because there was some strong vibes there. Obviously, the Daniels thing is there. Do you think? What do you like? Just thoughts.
So Rashard White, I don't mind. Obviously, Eckler got hurt last year, went bad. If they are going to try and run it back with JCM, he has no real passing game work. So Rashard White could at least help there. I wouldn't mind seeing them even upgrade the position more, because I would like to see them give Jaden Daniels like a really good running threat. But the Ayuk thing, I'm not a fan. I mean, this is a guy who turned down a massive deal and let's make this.
How do you like Jaden Reed here?
I'm pretty good on Jaden Reed here.
Let's go Jaden Reed.
And sure, maybe he didn't vibe with the 49ers, but for instance, like I know you watched I'm sure you watched the Netflix receiver show. You look at like two guys from that team, Debo and Kittle, everything they do to come back from injuries. We see it from the other guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, all these like top end receivers, and Brandon Ayuk just quit on his team. So it's like, do you want him? Like I know there's the Jane connection, and people who's drafted him, helped
get him
draft
for
him.
cheap, I think, because you don't have to pay him all the guaranteed money, and I can't imagine he's commanding a shit ton of draft capital.
Yeah.
If anyone could rein him in, it's the former teammate narrative thing. Who knows? It's probably.
I guess it's just my thing is their depth chart right now is Terry McLaurin, Luke McCaffrey, and Jalen Lane. Like they have no other receivers, they have no tight end.
Yeah.
So it's like they need weapons. And
we're not clicking Sinnott, by the way, right? That's an awful pick.
Not.
Thank God. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know who these people are that think that they can click Sinnott and get away with it. I think it's awful. I hate it. There's so many good tight ends down there too, and it's like just never Sinnott. I think Darnold's the pick here.
Yeah. Having JSN
and Walker
and Walker, made a big bet on this team.
I've seen Darnold fall like 20 picks though a couple times. It's like, oh my God, like what is? People don't like Darnold, even like from a fantasy perspective. Like he's just so slept on. It's like, oh, if I need a QB down here, I could just get Darnold, and then fuck it, I'll just get Torrey Horton and whoever on the like.
And AJ Barner's so cheap.
Yeah, exactly. You backstack the hell out of them.
And index. So like, I do think Corm's a great insurance pick. Similar to the Monton guy.
He's just so highly priced. He's like it's like drafting Madison a couple years ago. Or it's like the highest priced handcuff. Never feels as good.
I agree. I rarely do this, but I think the fact that we got the Monongai value, like almost 2 rounds worth of value, is quite nice.
It's Seahawks. Speaking of Seahawks tight ends, I played high school football with a guy on the Seahawks right now, tight end.
Who?
He's a rookie this year. Name's Nick Callerup.
Oh,
he's an undrafted free agent this year out of Minnesota, blocking tight end. He's the man.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I do like the Horton pick because I think while Seattle has money, I think they focus on Kenneth Walker, and they got like 3 or 4 defensive starters who are free agents. So I think they focus on that and let Shaheed walk. So I think Horton, is fine. I think Cooper Kupp is a 20th round click. You could do worse. Yeah.
All right. 2-4-5-0 running backs are not great. You think Dubs is going back to Green Bay, or is he? You think he's?
I don't think so. I think he moves on. That's how I kind of project it.
Good for Jaden Reed.
Yeah, no, and that's all right.
Tight ends, who do we got right here? Unless we want to go QB. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Let's go QB. Mendoza
or Stroud?
Let's go Mendoza. You can also backstack him some with Tucker.
Yeah. Fernando.
So I like that quarterback room now. I'm going to pull up the board, see the other drafts. But no, I like where we're at, and having 3 quarterbacks. Yeah, we're thin at tight end. But I generally go late round tight end. Yeah.
I love going late round tight end. So easy. So free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Ladies First, who took Emmett Johnson at the 10-1.
I saw that.
Fuck you, buddy.
I mean, does know that not coming back in this room.
Yeah. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Okay, how do we probably shouldn't have. We're in the range now, though. We should probably talk about it. Tyreek getting released, gonna play. It sounds like maybe. I don't know. I'm still not clicking him, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I clicked him last night with Nez. Nez was adamant we had to take Tyreek.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I know it was a relatively early injury, but boy, was that an ugly injury.
Not good. It's like it was almost like the Tank Dell injury.
Yeah. Do you want to go? Henry here with the stack.
Yeah, go Henry. Yeah, that's fine.
Like I like the Mark Andrews price, but I'm fine with Henry also. And the other thing is like Tyreek. I get it. He's only 32, and you could look at that two ways. Like he's 32 or he's only 32. Because it's not like he's, for instance, Zach Ertz who tore up his knee late in the year. Like I think Ertz is retiring, right?
Yeah.
But it's with Tyreek, my thing is landing spot is going to matter. Like if there's any fantasy relevance, it's all about landing spot. Because he could just go somewhere for almost like a paycheck and be like, I'll be the fourth receiver on this team. I'll come back mid-year. I'll be the fourth receiver, make a playoff run, get a few mil, cash in. Like this sounds crazy, but what would be interesting would be the Rams, because it's like 1 year. They gave 1 year $10 million to Tutu Atwell last year. Would Tyreek sign that deal? Like maybe a little bit more, like more incentive based, but it's like not even thinking of playing him the first 6-7 weeks. But bring him on to just have him run vertical and open up everything for Kupp, and he'll get a shot or two per game. But kind of like when they picked up Deshaun Jackson a few years ago, kind of that kind of mentality. Like he's just there to run vertical a couple times a game. So I just don't see a lot of fantasy relevance, and that could be like he could love that spot because he's competing for a ring and just gets a cool 10
he used to live in
million
LA.
plus.
I'm sure he'd like LA too.
Yeah. So, if he goes to a situation that they are just devoid of wide receiver talent, then maybe I'll be more interested. But right now, it's like I just don't know how much fantasy value there is.
Yeah, I get it. All right, I'm thinking. Andrews 52 or 64. Well, not a bad click. I also running back's going to dry up if we just don't draft these guys.
Yeah.
But who do we got again? We got Love, Walker, and the Chicago guys.
The Bears, and then the Bears combo.
I really like Rashad White, but I kind of like just going Andrews. Is it just Andrews or Rashad White? What do you
Let's
think?
go Andrews. I think we can still get a running back.
Okay, let's do it.
Back.
Yeah, because we're on the turn, right? This is our turn pick.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, we're good. 8 picks away. Yeah.
And I think there's just good value there, and then we can do a third tight end like 19th round or something.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like this range of running backs to an extent. Like it does fall off, but if we get somebody in here, I'm okay.
You got Braylon ranked like that because you think Brees is back?
I that's my concern. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
like
fair.
if Brees is definitely gone, I'm going to move Braylon to around his ADP.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I think out of this tier, I'm Rashad White.
Yeah, I think White is probably the same. I like Sean Tucker as a touchdown hunter.
Yeah,
but I think Rashad White's interesting as a free agent. Just goes, but and I don't mind Katron Allen. When he's going in the 170s, I think he's like a third round pick. And there's plenty.
You think he goes third round?
I think late third.
Okay, that'd be good for him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, both the guys I wanted. What the fuck? What do you know about Singleton? Broken foot seems like broken pinky toe, so it doesn't seem that bad. Oh my God, every guy we want.
Do you want to go Braylon or?
Fuck it. Yeah,
I'm fine at this.
Let's go Braylon. Let's go Braylon.
Yeah.
Go, because then we probably I usually I almost exclusively just draft 3-6-8-3 unless I really push running back. Then I'll go 7 RBs. But it's like in the big board, give me 6 and give me 6 good ones. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll get the 8 receivers. You can still start strong a receiver and then just draft I'll draft Jeremy in round 20 and I'm fine. Exactly. I'll draft Malachi Fields in round 20 and I'm fine. There's just so many good receiver clicks down there, with the rookies and tight end too. It's I don't know. So I just always prioritize RBs in the middle rounds, after a certain tier. Right now I don't like drafting much guy. The guys I like drafting of the dudes are left. Singleton's fine. Samson's okay, but I don't love it. And then it's Ray Day, and I'll sprinkle in a little Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, I will. I push Emmanuel Wilson just because I think he's a clear number 2 on a good offense.
Yeah, I feel like they draft somebody. I'm so worried that they're gonna draft somebody. I feel it. I can feel it. Or they sign somebody. I feel it in my bones.
Cooper went and Surratt. Damn it.
Yeah, I know they're taking everybody. Are you drafting Tank Dell?
I'm not like I need.
Did you see that video of him walking with the weights?
Yeah.
His knee didn't look great. I was looking at his knee. I was like,
Yeah.
Doesn't look like a healthy knee. Like it looks weird.
He's he's undersized. That was always a concern. And then he's back-to-back major injuries. And it's like,
yeah,
I don't feel great about this. And they go out and draft a second and a third rounder.
Yeah.
And Xavier Hutchinson's still there. So it's like, yeah, he might be on the team and Christian Kirk's gone, but is he playing above these guys?
I just want to remember that he's CJ Stroud's best friend. That's all I care about. And I need a good rookie year. But it's not 2023 anymore.
So Tucker goes. So yeah, Singleton. Because I was going to say Tucker from Mendoza, but
yeah.
No, Singleton. Then we're done at running back. So I'm fine with that. Like you said, get in, get out. Like there's a couple guys late. Like you mentioned Caleb Johnson. I mentioned Emmanuel Wilson, but yeah, I'm fine being done by this point because it really dries up.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just so many receivers to take shots on. And same with tight end. Like tight end dries up a little faster, but we can still get somebody in these next couple of rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, you asked about the 3-6-8-3. That's 85% of my drafts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I only go 2 tight end just because, if you get like 2 mid-tier guys, I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes I've done like 5 running backs, but I take 5 in the first
we're on the clock.
Rounds. Yeah, that's a good call.
Go to receiver. Let's click a rookie. I'm gonna go Brazil or Io Manor, one of the two.
Let's go Io Manor.
That's fine.
Feel okay.
That is fine.
A little bit more floor ceiling combo than Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bernard's gone. Fields is gone. Fuck this room.
Yeah, this room is really taking every guy we like.
I know, right?
What's tight end?
What do you think about Hawkinson? He's probably getting a cut, free agent.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think he gets cut. So he's okay. I think the Rams guys are fine. I think Otten, whether he's back with Tampa or not, is a fine click at this range. I'd probably lean tight end and then just take receive. At this point, the receivers are roughly all the same. Like all the fun guys that we would have wanted are gone.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I think if you're okay with either Parkinson or Otten, that'd be my lean.
Yeah. Who else is there? I was gonna say Frymuth was the only other guy I would have taken.
Frymuth, he'd be the next.
Stowers.
No, I think Frymuth's gone.
Huh?
Frymuth's gone. Oh, there you go.
No, probably just one as I was saying. Yeah. Gotcha. Here I don't mind Flournoy, or if you want to go
actually fun.
Flournoy's fun. If you want to go Kyle Williams to stack it up with May, that's fine too. Let's go Flournoy.
Yeah. I mean, that was an interesting year, and he pushed Jalen Tolbert totally out of the offense, and Tolbert's now a free agent. So yeah, I think he even is the clear number 3 there. I think is really fun
because they just pass the ball a ton. They pass the ball a shit ton, and he can just get better. Year 3, Year
absolutely.
3, guy coming out. Really good RAS, unbelievable RAS score.
Yeah.
So
I like taking some shots of him late. That's what I mean. Like, and I think you're making the same point. Is there's just so many receivers here. Like whether it's a Jalen or Malik Washington, with Tyreek gone, like he could be the number 2 there, number 3 at worst.
Yeah.
Rashard Bateman, Keenan Allen, if he doesn't retire. I mean, I'd take him sparingly. Jack Besh. You want to go tight end here? I like Stowers. I like Chig.
Stowers or Chig, you choose.
Let's go Stowers. I think with having Henry and Andrews, let's get a rookie to go along with that.
Okay.
And, I think that's a solid room. I think Stowers is probably like a round 2 guy.
That'd be awesome if he was one round 2.
Yeah.
And if it does feel like in recent memory, it's like normally it's like tight ends are so landing spot dependent, which I totally agree with. But it feels like the ones who are like the quote unquote weapons are actually kind of getting used like them. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, this guy needs to go to a good landing spot. He needs to get used like it. It's like, look at the guys in kind of recent history where it's like, okay, like Laporta. Obviously, you got the elite ones like Bowers and Warren, but it's no guarantee that they're actually like going to use them like they should be.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. So that's like those are check marks for them. Kincaid got used like it early on. There's some knock stuff in there, but he was still pretty good early on. I mean, you still draft him now. And then even a guy like Fannin last year, where it's like pure receiving tight end, like still was a really good option for them. And then it's like even a guy like Isaiah Likely, who like, you know, even we know what he was going to be coming out. And it's like he even still gets used by that. So it's like, I don't know, pretty good track record of teams like, you know, like I think that was more so the case maybe like 10 years ago where it's like you're going to draft a receiving tight end and try and develop into a blocker. It's just not going to work out. Where it's like nowadays you kind of want that just absolute freak, you know, in this like standing up 2-point stance in the slot. And it's like if Stowers goes to, you know, any team that needs a receiving tight end, it's going to be really good for him. So.
No, I agree. I think smart coaches just realize they can create mismatches that way.
Yeah.
And Stowers, like I like the fact that he was, you know, has a quarterback background and stuff like that.
We go Kyle Williams.
Kyle Williams or Besh, either one, I think.
Let's go Kyle. Let's stack it up. We got Henry. I think that's it, right? No other ones.
Yeah, well, we have Mendoza also, so either's a stack.
Oh yeah, go Besh then. Go Besh. You're right. We don't have a stack for him yet.
So
Jack Besh. It's funny too because Jack Besh is kind of like a Surratt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the and it's like that's the guy that I mean. Look at Mendoza back shoulder. Like he had two dudes. He had Surratt and he had fucking Charlie Becker. So it's like that's kind of like something he's just really, really good at and feels really comfortable with. So having those big body receivers, I think is gonna help.
Yeah, we'll have to obviously see how the new coaching staff likes him, but I could see Besh having a solid second year, depending on, you know, what all the Raiders add. Did want to talk about Index asked Vele thoughts. Moore felt enough to trade for him. I don't know how much it was Kellen Moore, but you know, right now he's the number 2 on the team. I think they bring in somebody, but he probably is at worst number 3. I would mix him in, especially in like a Tyler Shuck build, but I'm not going to go overboard on him.
Yeah, I agree.
So, you know, let's recap this team and then get into another draft. And, you know, then I'll label them and everything. But went 3-6-8-3, May, Darnold, Mendoza, running back room of Jeremiah Love, Kenneth Walker, the Bears duo of Swift and Monangai, and then Braylon Allen, Nicholas Singleton. Wide receivers, JSN, Devonta Smith, Jordan Tyson, Michael Pittman Jr., Jaden Reed, Elikiah Manor, Ryan Flournoy, and Jack Besh. And then tight ends, Henry, Andrew, Stowers. What would you say is your favorite position and least favorite position of this?
I like RBs. I kind of like the Chicago thing. It's kind of fun to look at where it's like you got that entire backfield, but then you also have like some upside spikes out of there too. So I don't know. I like that. I like the RB room a lot. Like you can get Singleton as that 6th guy. Braylon, I think, has got some juice. I like that room.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as like buys, like, you know, if you have a situation where all 3 of the same bye week, or, you know, then you'd have 4 players nuked. But but honestly, no, like you've Love, Walker, and then the Bears backfield, which we saw they had multiple games where both would have had usable weeks. So it's like we should be able to get a flex from these 4 guys almost every week, and sometimes it being both Bears running backs being in play. And then the way I look at it, we have JSN who's out to being wide receiver 1, Devonta Smith, Tyson, Pittman, Reed. We feel good about, and then 3 younger guys that we're taking some upside shots with. So, you know, even though not really rookie heavy, you know, I think it's good. Now, I really like the tight end room. To me, Henry, and I think Andrews is going just way too late in drafts. You know, we got him at 164. You know, like, yes, it's a new staff and all that, but we just know the Lamar Andrews connection. The Ravens paid Andrews big time, so I just don't see his role really diminishing.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, let's jump into another draft.
I gotta hop off. I gotta get some stuff done before
Okay.
I stream tonight. But yeah, thanks for you definitely rip another draft without me. You're good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining, and be sure to check out PPR Tyler's stream later tonight. What time are you going live?
I'm going live at 5:30. Then I got the tower at 7.
Okay. Yeah, check out both of those. I will definitely be. But thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
Appreciate thanks for having me on. I love talking the rookie stuff with with someone of a like mind and someone that knows what they're talking about. It's a breath of fresh air. So I appreciate that. That was a blast.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Talk to you later.
We'll see you. Yeah.
All right, so we are gonna jump into another draft. I'm counting down. I'm sorry I haven't been able to catch up with chat. Just a lot of really good conversation going. I'll definitely be using chat more now. So, but I appreciate everyone for all the comments, all the support. Let's get into another draft right now. I will count it down, entering in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. And appreciate everyone for jumping in, listening, jumping in the draft. Everyone for liking this episode. As always, you can upgrade to be a YouTube member. We have 2 levels there. We also have our Substack. You can get a 1-week free trial there. And we have a free Discord. All those links are in the description below, as is PPR Tyler's channel. So thank you, everyone. And let's see, we got TD, Mr. Mufasa, great discussion. Appreciate that. Yeah, I thought it was a really good conversation talking about rookies, just figuring it all out. Let's see, this draft, we have Peanut Punch at the 1. We have FK at 6. We have Mr. Mufasa at 8, Al Boogie at 9, Legion at 10. I got the 12th spot. I definitely recognize some of these other names. As always, if you're in, say hi. Enjoyed drafting with everyone, talking ball with everyone. Just, won't be able to get back to all of chat. So many great comments, but I like the Hawk talk here from Peanut Punch and FK. Yeah, the range that he's going in, I mean, landing spot will matter for him, of course, because maybe he just goes to a role where he's utilized more as a number 2 tight end. Even though I think it's unlikely, maybe you could see something like the Ravens with likely moving on if he comes cheap. But where we're taking him, there's very little risk, and I agree with FK's point. Like, former first rounder a couple seasons ago, he was one of the top tight ends in the league. So, yeah, you got to pick your choice of the Raiders, or you end up in purgatory. Genty Bowers, I don't hate. Yeah, no, I mean, Raiders. Look, I'm a big Clint Kubiak fan. I thought he was a great hire for the Seattle last year. I didn't necessarily think they'd win the Super Bowl, but that's one of the reasons why I was more bullish on Darnold. I think Mendoza, hopefully they rebuild that O-line, should make Genty and Bowers relatively worthwhile, their picks. And I think the Raiders could be a fun team this year. Like, long shot to challenge for the division, of course, or even playoffs, but could be a fun team to grow and develop. So sitting at the turn here, kind of going relatively normal. Oh, Jeremiah Love going the 4th pick. Okay, maybe not relatively normal. That is not what I would have expected. So sitting at the 12-13 pick, definitely have a couple of receivers or these running backs, and I know I'll get a couple of them. So that feels good. Let's go Genty Jefferson. I need to start, I've already moved Jefferson up a little bit. I'm probably going to move, like, when they get a quarterback, I'm definitely moving up more. So, yeah, I think he's going to start going more in the back half of the first, definitely at the turn. So I'm going to start moving him up. Goldie Flops had me so tilted. At least MSU fan isn't in the room. I swear he has it out for me. Yeah, sometimes it can feel that way. Great rookie convo with PPR Tyler. Yeah, always good to talk to him. A lot of fun. And Meg posting here my rookie breakdown shows for YouTube members. Yeah, Index says we were lamenting Seattle's O-line before the moves made to short up during the Kubiak's hair, so there's hope for Vegas. And also similar to Seattle last year, the year prior, the last year, McDonald's first year, last year with Gino, is they were dealing with some injuries, and including among their tackles. And that's what the Raiders had last year. Colton Miller went down like week 4 or 5. That was a massive loss for them, and especially because they had no depth. So that alone should help them. If they add they have a ton of money to spend. I think, maybe they splurge for a guy like Shaheed at receiver, and need to add a few pieces on defense. But I expect them to be aggressive for every offensive lineman that's available via free agency. So yeah, I think it could definitely get a lot better. And it's one of those things, like Seattle's offensive line isn't, and they take Gray Zabel in the first, and that was a later first. Nobody's going to say like they're a top 3 unit or a top 5 unit, but it's solid. It's good. So let's see. Nothing else too crazy. I mean, Breece Hall, that's not where I have him, but I get it if you believe he's moving on somewhere. So Bowers goes 21, Bride 16. I don't necessarily love 2 tight ends in the second round. I understand, what McBride did last year, what Bowers did the year before, could pay it off. Just feels like such a big opportunity cost. I need to take some, right? Like right now, I think I might have 1 Bowers share. I need to take some. It's just, it feels too pricey to me. And there's like that year, a couple of years ago, where Kelsey was going in the first round and it didn't pay off. The other argument for it was Kelsey's going in the first, the next tight end's not going to like Mark Andrews in the 5th. So we're baking in a big separation, where now we're not even baking in that. It's like, are you making the right decision? And I actually think tight ends could be much closer this year if everyone doesn't get injured. All right, coming up at the turn here. So Genty Jefferson. So Kyron goes, definitely was going to do that. I'll take T-Mac, and I'm going to take Devontae Adams. I'm just going to keep taking the guy who led all receivers by 3 touchdowns despite missing 3 games. Underdog touchdowns matter, and we just saw what Adams can do, even in clearly being the number 2 in targets. So kind of went anchor running back. We'll see what gets back to me. This is the danger of it, is sometimes running backs don't really fall to this area. So maybe this ends up being more of a 7 RB build. We'll see, but definitely like my start to the receiver room with Jefferson, T-Mac, and Adams. Just going back to some of the comments, the Sam Darnold and Warehouse is right. Like the Super Bowl thing with the weird drafts that happened around Super Bowl time did pull his ADP up. Interesting. It didn't pull May's ADP up, but I think it's going to start to reset. I actually think what's really going to push it down is when we get the landing spots for like Kyler, Malik Willis, just when we kind of know what every team's doing. Then I think we can more accurately assess it. And for instance, like, PPR Tyler's team, the Falcons, like if they don't really add anyone and they're like, okay, Michael Penix is our guy, then his ADP is going to go up. And not even that it's going to go up above Darnold, but just because it goes up, and then also people knowing who they can stack like London with will help drive things where maybe Darnold and some of those other like mid quarterbacks like Mendoza, Cam Ward, etc. Fall around. Shuck being another one. So I do think once we get more certainty as a whole with the position, that will help. But I still will take them kind of at their current ADPs just because quarterback position can be tough this year. Yeah, but he also started so high. Like he started really high. It just doesn't seem like it's affecting. Like May's ADP has already fallen to 61, and I mean he started like the initial when this launched, it was like 35 or something like that. Maybe it's just making a bigger impact on Darnold because he started actually so low. So running back, it's not as happy as I'd like. It's not a good range, but sometimes you gotta take what you take. Just a May team. Not sure if I want to do another one. So I might just go another receiver. This might end up being a 7 wide receiver team with stacking so many early guys. So I'll go Rome, even though I don't expect Caleb to come back. You need to go Ramondre. Want some more running back help. I know it's a reach according to his ADP, but that's where my ranks have him. I think that's where he should be if we're accurately portraying Henderson. May start, really high day one. Aiden, how many more drafts are we doing after this, Steve? This might be it. Maybe I do one more. I'll see what the chat feels like and where I'm at. So I had a long talk with PPR Tyler beforehand, and but we'll see where I'm at. I haven't seen anyone taking shots at yours. Sanders goes in every draft. I don't have the two that far apart. I think most people are just far more assuming that the Dolphins are bringing in a quarterback, whether it's a veteran or like a established veteran, like a Cousins, Geno, somebody like that, or like a Malik Willis or Kyler. Not sure where they'll find the money for that. I don't know, but yeah, I don't see myself taking a lot of yours. I think Sanders is not my favorite click. I've taken him once or twice. I think he's safer to start some games this year. I struggled to see him start all year, whether it's with a veteran, whether they bring in somebody else. But I think you're right that these quarterbacks aren't that far apart. It's just I think their situations might be one's just in a little better, more likely to start. Ramondre Stevenson season. We saw it up through the Super Bowl. Like Patriots just trust him a lot more. I hope the sound of his name makes haters and Endo Dynasty owners sick. I think Henderson could still have a role and a value. It's just, I think it's mispriced. Like Henderson should go in like kind of like where Monangai is going. Because his best games were the games with Stevenson out. It's not like outside the one, what was the Bills game when they both played, but generally speaking, it was when it was out. No Reek, Waddle can finally be a thing. Yeah, no, I think Waddle's fine at his current price. They don't have money, but some of these veterans, like if Geno gets cut by the Raiders, it's not going to cost the Dolphins much because kind of similar to, should be, depending on how the contract is structured, but similar to the Russ thing with the Steelers a couple years ago. So yeah, they might not cost that much. And even somebody like, they go with like a Marcus Mariota. What's that going to cost? Like $10 million. And, yes, money's real, but there's ways you can find that kind of money. I don't think they can find the Kyler money, maybe even the Malik Washington or Malik Willis money. So I'm less on them getting there. But we'll see how much they want to devote to the position. With essentially they're paying a massive severance check to Tua. I mean, he's already gotten the money, but it's like they're just eating their cap to cut Tua. So could look quarterback here. Not any stack, but definitely could grab one. Potentially could grab two. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take Herbert and Dart. Herbert has some backstack options. Dart, I don't even know how much you need to stack. Just didn't love these running backs are okay. No receiver jumps out. I'll tack on a third quarterback, but now I feel like I can wait a bit. Just a different build. Yomi in checking in. Appreciate that. You're in the second hole. Willis expect to be looking for 2 years, $40 million. Yeah, I think that was essentially the Fields deal. I think it's going to be in that ballpark. But there's also ways you could add void years to make the first year cost next to negligible. There's just ways that you could make it much cheaper if need be. Where, Willis could pocket a decent payday year one, but versus the cap, it might only be like $6 million. Even Fields, I'm going to look it up. I don't know what his because he got 2 years, essentially 2 years, $40 million, 30 of it guaranteed. Yeah, he had a bunch of void years on his contract. His cap number last year was $8 million. So, you could make it very palatable for Malik Willis. Yeah, they just threw a ton of void years on Fields' contract to get his number down. Yeah, I agree. I think Malik Willis is interesting. One, and this was my initial thought was the Cardinals, either Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett were going to be the starting quarterback, but the reality is it might be neither. I could absolutely see the Cardinals trading away Kyler and either keeping as a backup or trading away Jacoby Brissett, and they could sign Malik Willis. LaFleur, obviously his brother just had him in Green Bay and was able to help develop him and do some nice things. So I 100% could see that. And, in which case Jacoby Brissett, like right now we're drafting him like a starter, but there's just a lot of paths where he might not be starting. Yeah, great deal for a bridge quarterback. Agreed. Totally agree. And, and the interesting thing with Malik Willis is, he only has a handful of starts. But, Tennessee stuff from his rookie year, we shouldn't even count. Like at this point, it was just bad situation, bad all around. Because they didn't have weapons, and obviously I like Vrabel, but it was not great. He was not ready for the show, and he got forced into a role that he should not have been. We saw him perform much better with Green Bay in, albeit limited starts. But I think it's a reasonable bet to make for a team. So I'm sitting here. That's what I don't like about the turn is I just know guys are not coming back to me. Definitely going to go Algier. Like Boston, but I think I just need to pull up Emmett Johnson. This is essentially where I have him ranked. And sure, at 115, 120, I can sometimes get him, not in this room. And just no chance he's coming back to my next pick. Like that's his ADP, but I think it's a 0% chance he would come back. And I think Malik Willis is intriguing for the Cardinals. I definitely question McBride's ADP a little bit more with, say, Malik Willis. But, they could be quickly a fun offense with, Willis at quarterback, McBride and Marvin and Wilson at wide receiver, whether they go James Conner, whether they bring somebody in, like I mentioned, Breece Hall earlier. That could quickly turn into a fun offense. No. ADP 202. I actually think Omar just is going to keep rising. So I think after the combine, you'll see his ADP steam up quite a bit. Me and sweating bullets over here. Yeah. Being at the turn in drafts like these, not going to generally get falls. And also, I will say this, I like Omar Cooper Jr. even better in full PPR because I could see him being utilized in the slot and just really, stacking up targets and catches. I just don't know if he's going to be he was this past year in Indiana, but like a huge touchdown guy. Now, to be fair, very few guys in the NFL are anymore. I think we only had 6 receivers with 10 or more touchdowns, maybe 7. Not counting McBride, got that among tight ends. I think he was the only tight end. I did double check, but it's not a lot of big time touchdown guys. I'm now at 244. I feel much better at running back without Algier and Emmett Johnson. Definitely feel like I have outs for 4 starting running backs. Might go back to the standard build of 3-6-8-3 since I feel in a good spot. I mean, my receivers have, waited the last 5 rounds, but pretty strong to start with Jefferson, Tedero McMillan, Devontae Adams, and Rome Odunze. After this draft, I will go over other teams. That will probably end it. I'm guessing Huhaim's drop in chat. I'm assuming you're on today. Let me know. So we'll go Higgins for 1. And I think I pull up. You know what? I will take a third quarterback. I'll take Mendoza. Considered Bryce Young with the Tedero McMillan stuff, but I think Mendoza and Darnold are just a touch better. There were some receivers like Dubs and Shaheed that I like in this range, but didn't feel like a necessity. And I didn't think, if I thought that I could get back like a quarterback, I just didn't know if I'd get one back. So I'll take Mendoza there. Yeah, nice coming on. Oh, nice. 9 away from hitting 420 subs for the Blunt stream would be epic. 5 p.m. Eastern. All right. Nice. Yeah, I'll see how I feel after this draft. Still not sure if I'll do another one or not. I do need to start doing some drafters and DraftKings ones. Won't do that today. I do want to do a show later this week on baseball. I won't be on tomorrow, but expect me to be on every other day. And then Who Hames and I, in addition to me doing a draft or two, Who Hames and I are going to do a show on Thursday. I believe we decided that's 3 p.m. Eastern. So looking forward to that one for sure. And I'll probably draft before that. So I'll draft and lead into that show. Yeah, I like Peanut getting Kyler here. I think, look, there are some bad teams that could go for a quarterback, like the Dolphins or Jets. But honestly, even if Kyler's there in the 140s, I think that's fine. Like, I don't think we have a Justin Fields benching situation or Tua benching situation. And, like, I know people want to knock him versus Brissett last year, but a lot of that was just Brissett volume. It was not actual quality production by Brissett, and just the situation, like having no running backs, being down every game. Kyler has just historically been better, EPA per play, and his rushing upside. There's just a lot there where I think he's a very solid click in these mid rounds. Mike Rob saying, wait, I actually have to work the whole day tomorrow. The hell, Steve? Yeah, unfortunately, won't be able to do a stream tomorrow. So we'll just maybe I will do another draft today because of that. And then I'll send everyone over to Who Hames channel. FYI, I was not going to draft on the new show as well. Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably do on Thursday. I'll figure out Wednesday, but I'll probably do like a 1 p.m. Eastern show on Thursday, do a couple drafts, and lead into the stream with Who Hames on his channel. All right, coming up, and then I will answer chat. All right, Kamar goes. That would have been one of my clicks. So we'll go Andrews again. And I'm just going to pull up Kelsey. I did Henry Andrews last time. I think Andrews Kelsey. Tack on another tight end later. It's fine. And I'll go back to the board. For early big board, do you think it's a bad process to attack the first 2 weeks before ADP adjusts with most of your drafts in a contest, focusing on mispriced players and rosters construction? The only thing I'll say is, like, there's a lot of players who are mispriced, but we don't necessarily know the reason. Like, well, I just talked about Kyler, and I think Kyler is more okay regardless. Like, he's going to rise pretty much no matter what. But a lot of these guys, like these free agents, some I feel are very much mispriced in the wrong way. And if they get the wrong landing spot, we might be very, really need to adjust. But we might not adjust right away. But I don't know. I think for the big board, I think mixing it up. I did a couple, some before the Super Bowl, doing some now. Want to do it essentially throughout, because this one is going to be open the entire time. Like, War Room's going to fill up in a week, maybe even less. I have like 2 slows going in that. Me tomorrow do one on stream. So that, go get your guy. Like, ADP is not going to change, but like, so I mean, look, I just took Kelsey. He could retire. This could be one of the worst picks a week from now. Somebody like McMillan, he could get traded. Mike Evans could leave. They could trade Chris Godwin. I mean, all these things are outs that could happen. That could totally change where his value is. Aaron Jones, he could stay with the Vikings. He could get cut. He could get cut and retire. He could get cut and be signed to be a 3rd running back somewhere. He could be signed to be a number 1 running back somewhere. So I guess I have a tough time, because right now there's so many unknowns. Like Kayshon Boutte, if we know that the Patriots don't add anyone, I think 148 is a tremendous value. They could go out and add 2 guys, and then Kyle Williams could develop, and they keep Diggs, and it's like, oh, Boutte is looking on the outside, looking in, So I want to be hitting this throughout as ADP, because even when sometimes we see ADP jump, it doesn't always adjust. Like Diggs being a great case last year. Like, I don't think Diggs ADP ever went high enough. He clearly outplayed it. He started in like the 150s, went up to like 120, 100, 80, in the big board, and then 70 in at the end of the year. And it never, he outperformed that the entire way. Debo was another one who, after he got traded to Washington, like, his ADP didn't really rise to the point where it probably should have. So yeah, I mean, I would want to have some shots at all. Like, I do think right now, particularly like some of the rookies, we're getting some of the best ADP values, because the combine will change it. But we're also just guessing, because landing spot will be completely determinate there as well. I will take Theo if he gets back to me. Nice little late dart stack. Trey Harris, Legion, nice pick. I didn't want to put it out there, but that's who I was going for. So yeah, well, Boogie and Legion taking the guys that I was hoping for. All good though. I'm not as worried about stacking. I will take Dylan Sampson. I think he's probably the number 2 back in Cleveland. That's not exactly the most fancy, advantageous spot. But at 181, I think it's fine. I guess, like, if you're maxing, I would want, because these are 2 different times. I mean, combine's like 2 weeks before free agency. So I'd want a third before the combine, probably, 15% in that combine to free agency window, and the rest after free agency. Now, some I do right away, because again, when these guys sign, their ADP will start to rise, but it's not going to rise. It generally doesn't rise quick enough. Is at least my take. Like Willis is going to sign somewhere, and where, let's say, I'd have to look up the exact date of free agency, but let's say it's March 10th. Willis signs with the Cardinals March 10th. He might be taken 1/30th, that day. By the time we get to, the April and the big board's finishing up, he might be 1/15th. Yeah, like he probably should go ahead of Tyler Shock just from his upside rushing. Kind of same with like Rashid Shaheed. Like he signs with the Raiders first day of free agency to get back with Kubiak. He'll go up around, but I think by the time the draft hits and we're saying, hey, he's the Raiders' #1 receiver, maybe he's going 90th. So I would definitely, as soon as free agency is hitting, definitely be taking some guys right then and there. Because even as they start to rise, I don't think it will rise fast enough generally. I have almost no ETN because I think he's priced as ceiling. Yeah, I guess I'm in the sense that I don't think it's a ceiling just because 2 of the last 3 years he's outperformed this. He's been top 10 running back. I do lean to him being back with the Jags. I don't think they franchise him, but I do think the Jags find a way to retain him. And if he does that, I think he can, be a top 15 back for sure. And he's going that's roughly what he's going. So I definitely don't see it as ceiling, but there is risk there. Wonder Dog released a second big board first year doing big board and got a little overzealous 142 drafts and won't make it to the combine. I don't think they'll do a second big board. I think they'll do a second little board. Maybe a second war room because that's filling really well. Maybe something else in between, like last year they didn't. But I could see what the fill rate, where the fill rates are with big board and little board. Of course, war room's about to be filled. I could see maybe another mid-tier price tournament. Somewhere maybe like a $5 tournament. So last year, they've done different things every year. A couple of years ago, they did a Superflex tournament in this time frame. Last year, they didn't. So kind of tough to say what exactly they're going to do. Yeah, that's my take, is they will add some smaller contests. And a good example is baseball. Like baseball, the Dinger is still going strong. They've been throwing out, they've done like 3 base hits. They just did a $5 contest that I think filled today. That was a 5 max. So there's going to be different things out. Nice work. I'm at 97 and we got 100. Wow. All right. I am about to be on the clock. So let me come over here. Well, never mind, I'm on the clock. So we'll go wide receiver. You know what? I'm just going to take Jeremy Bernard because I trust him more than anyone else in this range. And running back. Boy, you got really thin at running back. Don't think he gets back to me, so I'll just do Najee Harris here. Yeah, 142 drafts. That's a lot. But no, it sounds like you're having fun. Who I'm saying I'm close to 100 if you count draft as DK. I haven't done much on those yet. I need to start getting there. Peanut, right there with you, 135. What are you doing with Travis Hunter now? I think another quote is out for me. I still think he's a dart. Yeah, I talked about a little bit with BBG last night. We took him in one where he only felt like 5 picks. I think he probably starts going in the 160s. I'm going to kind of wait for his ADP to settle there. But to me, like these quotes, they could just be from Gladstone, which, yes, GMs have a lot to say. But sometimes during the season, coaches and quarterbacks can say quite a lot more. And also just so much can happen. Like what happens if they end up trading Brian Thomas Jr.? What happens if somebody gets an injury? What happens, like right now they have no cornerback depth, but what happens if they sign somebody, if they draft somebody in the second round because they don't have a first round pick? Like their decision making now versus what it could be in July could be vastly different. So I think in 20-round formats, taking some shots and these, I wouldn't necessarily take them in like if I was only doing 7 receivers, but in 8, 9 wide receiver builds, still taking a shot at Hunter in this, 140 to 160 range. Yeah, I mean, I went more on the 160 side, but because, like, for an example, Hunter is just a playmaker, and in limited work, look at somebody like Tesla. And I know that was almost solely red zone value, but I just would not bet against Travis Hunter. I think from a raw wide receiver talent, he was the best wide receiver in last year's class. Honestly, I think he's on par with any wide receiver. Now, he's not going to get enough targets. I understand, but paying off anything in the 140 to 160 range, you only need him to hit your lineup a couple weeks. Kelly checking in. What is Jerome Ford's story? One that Kevin Stefanski did not like him, so I would not expect him to go to the Falcons. Yeah, I wonder. He's a free agent. He had to take a bit of a pay cut last year to stay with the Browns. He didn't do much last year, but he was productive the 2 previous years when given opportunities, and somewhat due to the Chubb injuries. He was very productive. I think he's a poor man's third down back for somebody that probably, like, he could be this year's Kenneth Gainwell, to be quite honest. So I think he's low on the free agent depth chart, but somebody could sign him for like $1 million and $1.5 million to get a pretty good value. I just check out drafters. I don't think I can do DK in Oregon since our state reigns. Okay. I'm not sure exactly if you can do DK or not. But yeah, drafters is a lot of fun. We're going to have content for that as well. Who Hames would do a lot of drafter streams. And there's plenty of others out there. Ceiling ADP, that is. Superflex, best ball. Yeah, that they did that 2 years ago. I would love if they do a pre-draft one again. Coming up. And so let's see, last 2 picks, 228, 229. Looking at 2 wide receivers. I just think it's easier to advance with teams in the first 1-2 weeks is focused on roster construction. Yeah, no, I don't hate that. We'll take another Jack Best share. I'll just stack up two guys, Besh and Slayton. No, and the other thing that's going to shift these ADPs is, again, when these quarterbacks land, now we know how to stack these players better. And also when, like when Shaheed starts going with the Raiders, let's say he goes to the Raiders, you're going to start seeing him with Mendoza, where right now it's just guessing. So that's why I did want to do, and am doing a fair number of drafts before, the combine really shakes things up, before free agency really shakes things up. I guess I didn't want to go overboard just because I do think ADPs are going to change quite a bit. I guess what I'm saying is it's a little different than after the draft, like the regular BBM, where ADPs start somewhere and then those can shift dramatically pretty much as well. But here it's a lot of, there's no doubt, like even some of the guys we're talking about, there's a few more picks, but we could be totally wrong. Like I have Breece Hall ranked, 15 spots after his current ADP. If he goes back to the Jets, then I'm probably right. If he goes to the Cowboys or Cardinals or whoever else, I'm probably wrong, and I'm going to adjust that quickly. So right now I'm the risk isn't worth it for me to take him too much unless he falls. But there's others where I could be, ETN. Like if ETN goes to a bad landing spot, I'm wrong on him, and I'm probably wrong on Tootin. But right now, I think Tootin is a terrible price because if ETN comes back or they bring in somebody else of similar range of value, like Tootin, could just be like a 10 play game type guy. I mean, he had less snaps than LaQuint Allen last year. So, you know what? Since I will be off tomorrow, I'm going to do one more draft. So let me know if anyone really wants me to go through their team. I'm happy to do it. But I did want to get another draft in for Huhaim's stream. So I'd have to basically start right now. So anyone want a quick shout out? I am happy to do it. If not, I might just jump into the next draft. Poor Jerome Ford saying Haley Wall Sampson ran for 11 inches per carry. I like Hunter a lot. It's a bet on talent. Opportunity comes, could be a league winner. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question. Ironmanner or Hunter? I mean, it should be Hunter, but yeah, Ironmanner could have a better role. The only need, so I will actually still say Hunter, just because I think, to Estad's point, is it's like the Jurassic Park quote, "Nature finds a way." It's like talent finds a way. Ceiling ADP, that is Travis Etienne. I think if he resigns, he stays there. Appreciate the feedback. No problem, Peanut. All right. Nobody shouted out really wanting a breakdown. Normally, you guys know I love, talk it through. But I'm going to just get another draft since I won't be able to do tomorrow. And then we'll send you over to Huhaim's stream. I'm just going to count it down. And in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. Right. No location error. Perfect. Deal. Sounds good. No, I think that's fair. Al checking in. Should know this is being streamed when I saw FK and Steve in my draft. Yeah, half the other room is also in this chat also, Al. Hope you are doing well. So let's see, we got Peanut Punch again at 5. Estad at 9. I'm at 10. So appreciate everyone for joining me in chat, in drafts. These are fun. And I will say too, Peanut and Estad, I'm hoping they release more stuff. Part of the reason, if I knew for sure they were going to do, a couple more tournaments, and I think they will do something, but is it one more tournament? Is it 5 more tournaments? I don't know. If I knew for sure they were doing like 4 or 5 more tournaments, I'd probably be maybe not up in the 130s, but I'd definitely have a higher number of drafts done. All right, coming into the 10th spot here. Okay, we talked about the Tyreek thing earlier. I'm still kind of out, just kind of waiting on landing spot. I do recognize there's a chance he could be okay, but I just don't think people are appreciating enough that he could just go and tack on to some team as a 3rd or 4th wide receiver with the plan to have just like, hey, let's get a solid payday as I continue to rehab and, but just has no real chance to get in a lot of workload. So ASB goes would just take James Cook. S. I think, getting a nice fall on Jonathan Taylor. We know what this guy can do. I expect good things from that Colts offense this year, especially if Daniel Jones is anywhere close to what he was a year ago. I would take Cook, Hampton. I just have a tough time taking McBride over these backs right here. Was hoping for Jefferson to come back. I want to get more Jefferson. I do think his price ends up, kind of in this 10, 11, 12 range. So get him now when you can get him in the second round for sure. The other Dolphins were cleaning house today. They said they're going to try and trade Tua. I think that sounds good on paper. I don't think that will end up happening. Would be my guess. But, they might. And it's not from a compensation standpoint. It's just more his contract is so bad. Like if they cut him, anyone can sign him to a much more conducive contract for them. So that would be my guess is how that situation ends up going. But I get they'll at least explore the opportunity to trade him. And the other part of it is from them, like they would actually save a little money. So that's the ideal for them, but I just don't see who's going to help facilitate that when Dolphins, there's no way they can keep Tua. Sorry. Yeah. No, when Jefferson was gone, it was Hampton or Barkley. I mean, I think Barkley's pretty good as well. But yeah, those two backs, very, very high on. So coming up into, I like that we're seeing Allen Moore go back here. All right, I'll go T. So I do wonder if Allen will continue the slide back to the end of the third round, or if he'll start going more 2-3 turn. So I do think it's now showing that there is a difference between Allen and every other quarterback. Just his consistency. I know injuries could happen to anyone, but he's definitely had, no real injury history. So that's at least a positive. I'll take another Adams share, like McConkey, Hampton. I've done it before, but I don't need to double tap both. The way I look at this is I expect the Chargers offense to be pretty damn good. Cincy offense to be good. We know the Bills. We know the Rams. Could really have just elite offenses here. Yeah, Tua, I will say I have the toughest time figuring out what to do with him. I mean, this is a guy, Mike McDaniel got a lot out of him. He produced some really good numbers for him, but I just think he's regressed. And I think some of it is he is, just so fearful of taking another bad hit. He unfortunately plays a little scared. And I get it. I get why. But already he was a guy without the best arm talent, a little undersized, and just, if he's healthy, is he one of the best 32 quarterbacks? Sure. But his health situation is just such a big concern, where I don't see him going in. I just don't know if like the Steelers or Browns would consider him even. I think Kevin O'Connell would consider him, but it's like at the same time, you're still running the risk that J.J. McCarthy's starting a lot of games. And also, J.J. McCarthy dealt with multiple injuries last year, had an injury his rookie year. He's had his own checkered injury history. So I don't really see Minnesota. I don't see the Cardinals. I don't know. Jets seem like the most sense, but I feel like a lot of guys could go to the Jets just with their cap situation. I know a lot of people were talking about like if Carr comes out of retirement, the Jets can make sense there with Musgrave and that kind of connection. I don't know where Tua ends up. So go Swift here. So Daniels, Burrow go off the board. I'm surprised May is going behind them now. I think I would have taken Burrow if he was there, but he did not get back to me. So let me go Rome. Yeah. And we will add a little music in the background as we do this last draft and wrap up. So I know I mentioned it before, but in case you missed it earlier, definitely, if you missed earlier in the stream, definitely check out a conversation I had with PPR Tyler about rookies, specifically quarterback and wide receiver. And then, if you want to continue with good discussion, we have a free link to our Discord in the description below. Also, we have our Substack 1 week free trial with that. And of course, you can always support us with YouTube memberships as well. I just want to thank everyone for all their support. I do really appreciate it. Meg really appreciates it. We're trying to grow the channel. We're trying to, just get more out there in the best ball, all our content, but specifically in the best ball space. Meg and I just both really feel like just best ball is going to continue to grow and truly is the wave of the future for fantasy. I think you're going to see that more and more as people understand it and get to experience it. Look at Steve saying the mood for us with the music. Yeah, I wanted a little background. I know there's a lot of great discussion earlier, and unfortunately I wasn't able to always be pulling up chat earlier, but I did appreciate all the great discussion in chat. Yeah, no, I noticed that QBs are getting pulled way up. So maybe I should have done quarterback at the last go. We'll see if something gets back to me. I'm going to take Dak. His ADP is now higher than my rank. I can't totally argue it, even though I don't have a stack going. I think Dak, there's some pieces to back stack, but just in general, the talent is real enough that it's worth still investing in, even without stacking it with his primary guys. So Pierce goes, Quorum. I'll go Jacoby Myers. Jacksonville is a tough situation with a lot of receivers, a lot of weapons, but still another piece of a good offense. And I will continue to build that out, featuring top tier offenses so far with all my picks. Appreciate that best ball on call. Steve is better listening to it for the drive home than local FM radio. Well, I do appreciate that compliment. I know at the same time radio is pretty bad, but I know I appreciate the compliment. So I pull up the board. It's my third and final draft of the day before we get on out of here. I will go over Peanuts and SDOT's team as well. Like that we're seeing Pitts go where Peanut got him in the 80s, 90s now. I mean, his original ADP was just so off. Hubbard is just such a tough click for me. I know he had a strong playoff performance. I do think Dowdle is going elsewhere. But do they trust him enough to give him the role? Is it Jonathan Brooks? Is it somebody else? And Carolina's a weird situation because it's not they made the playoffs, but their offense was not good last year. Really underperformed. And the best part of it was that run of Rico Dowdle, and now he's almost assuredly gone. So, it's Canales' third year. I don't know if he's fully coaching for his job, but I think they need to show offensive improvement. Even if they were to miss the playoffs, I think they need to show growth with Bryce Young, growth with some of their other guys. They just had a lot of misses. The Jonathan Brooks injury, they'll get playing terribly. They need to have some wins. Let's go Algier. Like that is a fourth running back. Don't know where he ends up, but plenty of places where he could be a nice addition. There's quarterbacks here that I could go. Denzel Boston, Juwan Jennings, Jane Reed. I think those are all fine clicks in this range. I think I'd just go quarterback. Bo Nix. Some definitely pieces to backstack. So Dak and Bo Nix, I think it's a good solid start. Don't have any stacks so far. I'm okay with it. If Ferg gets back to me, obviously priority. Wasn't going to reach for Ferg, but we'll figure it out. What's been your favorite sports to watch during the Winter Olympics? I haven't really watched much Winter Olympics. Little hockey. I've caught some clips online of some different skiing and stuff. I think that is crazy. Speed skating is fun. I'm not like actual like figure skating stuff like that. I don't really care for some of the cross country stuff. What that's interesting as well, but haven't really watched much so far outside some hockey. Wow, Kittle going 110. This might be Meg's burner account. No, I don't know. Like, I know the talent. I still believe in talent. Like, I think even him coming back from injury, that's fine. I just think we're going to lose more than we'd like next year. I think they're going to be very cautious with him. Shanahan's playing for the Super Bowl. And he's going to play during the season, but it might be out a month or two and then limited. So I just kind of worry. He might be the absolute guy you need fantasy playoffs, but how much is he helping you get there is my concern. I have a chance to get Ferg back. That would be nice. If not, I'll pivot. Quarterbacks, after really getting pushed early, Chuck and Darnold both that past ADP. I got to go Ferg here. Emmett Johnson. Yeah, I kind of knew it was a decision between Ferg and Emmett Johnson. Went with my head, taking Jake Ferguson over my fifth running back at Emmett Johnson. I might wait at quarterback, even though I think Darnold's there. Click. Get a fifth receiver in Shaheed. The division is stacked again. Chaney may not have a choice to go all out again next season. I mean, that's fair. It's just at the same time, you can make that case this year, and I just felt like they were very cautious with Kittle's injury this year, Pearsall's injury. injuries. Juan Jennings' injury, Brock Purdy's injury, same foot issue twice, I believe. But, like mid-year, were we thinking that the Christian McCaffrey, but Mac Jones, Jake Tonjes, Marcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne team was going to be even playoff bound? No, but they still found a way. So, yeah, I mean, that could change if they stack some early losses. The 49ers played well. So definitely a chance, but my guess is, they have Tonjes. I wouldn't be surprised if they add like, an early day 3 tight end who they feel could mix in. Just a guess. that it would, Mike. Definitely one of my favorites. So I think we go on the quarterback run here. Let's see, Malik Willis go off the board there. San Fran window is closed. So many key players getting old and beat up. I mean, yeah, but you would have said the same thing about the Rams, and I understand the Rams didn't make it, but they were one of the best teams. I think San Francisco, I think Ricky is still fun. Here's the other thing with the 49ers. They actually have a good amount of cap space. They need to focus some of it on defense, focus some on O-line depth. I could see them grabbing a receiver via trade or free agency, adding somebody, particularly if Juwan Jennings leaves. So they're actually not in a bad cap situation. And the defense played over, definitely excelled more than anyone thought it would, particularly with all the injuries last year. But I think they could be, trying to make one more run. And that's what I mean. Like, I just don't know if they're risking bringing Kittle back too early. So Darnold, Ward, Murray go. Kind of tough area, but I will take Bryce Young as a third quarterback. You just go Troy Franklin, get a stack, grab one of these guys. Cautious did give them road playoff games, which seemed to bring them down. They thrive at home. Yeah. No, I mean, it did. But the fact that they were able to produce like they did with all those injuries, presumably they're not totally injured next year. Like, that's the other thing. Like, is Kittle the only lingering injury? Is Pearsall and, say, Jennings fully go? Is McCaffrey healthy? Like, not often there are 5 quarterbacks at top of ADP. Yeah, this turned weird, and all the quarterbacks started off getting drafted pretty frequently in this range, as generally we expect. But then it's like people stopped drafting them, and then you had some, like Mendoza went, kind of above like Stroud, Chuck, and Darnold. Yeah. It's about to be back with that experimental robot leg. You might need it. I mean, I love Kittle. I have a tough time taking him in that range just because, like, we just don't know. Like, My thing is, even if somehow we get to July and they say George Kittle is not even going to miss a game, how high are we taking George Kittle? Are we taking him 80, 60? No, definitely not. Especially not if Mark Andrews is still going in the 160s. I think then George Kittle's going in the 120s, 130s. So it's like, why take him now when that's kind of like the best case scenario for him? All right, definitely. Could go Surratt, could go Katron Allen. Could grab a tight end like Likely. Let me just pull up Cooper Jr. It's a little higher than I normally would take him. Maybe he gets to 183. Just this team with only 5 receivers. I figured he's maybe double tapping in this range. And the receiver, running back, and tight end that I wanted all went off the board ahead of me. So not gonna mess around. Hawkinson goes. I'll take Schultz. I was gonna grab one of them. Mandarins, your 8th receiver, is a smart call on this team. I mean, look, I took him a couple drafts ago with PPR Tyler. I think in this range it's fine. I just want more Omar Cooper Jr. shares. I do think after the combine, he could be more in like the 150-ish range. Could see him being a riser at the combine. And then I did feel like I needed a tight end. I was going to go either one of Hawk or Schultz. Don't really have much Hawkinson, so I probably would have leaned that way. But I like Schultz. I mean, 100 plus targets last year, easily be in that ballpark again. Not the greatest offense, not the greatest player, but he seems to be, comfortable with Stroud. And I don't see the Texans making a big jump at tight end this year, like drafting somebody or signing someone. That was my mistake last year. Is I wondered if they'd add at the position, and then even when they didn't, I just never adjusted that. That was definitely a leak in my game last year. It's an interesting strategy from 12 spot, taking 4 tight ends in a row. I get some of the taking 4 tight ends with Kelsey. I don't know about all in a row. I like Strange. I like Kelsey, Andrews, Sadiq. Fun rookie. Not sure if I'm really paying 133 great too often, but should be a good tight end room. Actually, like what this match guy did, Henry, Barner, Berg. Really need a running back here. I like my top 4. But yeah, my 5th and 6th are not going to be too fun. Could take the handcuffed here with Ray Davis. I don't think there's a lot of standalone value. It's tremendous handcuff value. That's fair. I guess I worry that he could just be a little bit more limited. I do want Kittle. It's just I have a tough time when Andrews, Kelsey. I know Andrews didn't have the spike week last year, but every other year Andrews had that same sort of spike week value. And you're getting him 150, 160. That's kind of my, if that's where I have Kittle ranked, if Kittle was going there, I'd be much more interested. Maybe a target Gunnar Helm or Mason Taylor here. Just do run Flournoy since I have Dak, another piece there. Actually, I want tight end. Go Helm. So I did Najee, last draft. You don't want too much Najee. Yeah. So, and to this point also, if, again, we get to July and it's trending really well for Kittle, yeah, I'll start drafting a good chunk of him, even at the 120. I just don't see his ADP. I don't know if it ever really cracks 100. Like, what would it take for his ADP to crack 100? Like, knowing that he's 100% ready week 1. Other than that, I don't see it cracking 100 too much. Should have an eye-catching peg leg as props to put on every time you draft Naj. Yeah, especially maybe he ends up in Tampa. Be a really good fit then. So done at tight end, done at quarterback. What I will say, I like the interesting thing with drafting Kittle now is I haven't really done it, but I would do it in 4 tight end builds and just pair them with Tonjes just for, that insurance. So coming up on my last 2 picks, looking 1 running back, 1 wide receiver. Go over the other couple teams. I believe who Hames has started streaming. I will drop his link in chat. And then keep in mind PPR Tyler is on as well soon after. Then the Toxic Tower as well tonight. All right. we'll just finish up the running back position first. Devin Neal, reasonable chance he's in the mix for the Saints. Don't love it, but I think as a 19th round click, he's fine. I know Leggett would be a stack. I'm not going to take Leggett. I probably will, every now and then take him, but just not going to prioritize him at all. We'll go Jack Besh. So I ended 3-6-8-3, Dak, Bo Nix, Bryce Young, James Cook, Marion Hampton, DeAndre Swift, Tyler Algier. So top 4 running backs feel really strong with. Got the handcuff with Ray Davis. I actually think he's great in a handcuff role. Doesn't have much standalone role. Maybe they move on from Taron Johnson, but probably not. Devin Neal, kind of a dart throw at the end. T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, Rome Dunze, Jacoby Myers. Again, feel really strong about top 4. I think Rashid Shaheed is a really nice price right now. Trey Franklin was the Broncos' number 2 last year. Easily could be as well this year, in which case I think we're getting very nice value. And then Omar Cooper Jr., Jack Besh at the end. Tight end, Berg, got a little fall there, which is nice. Dalton Schultz, got right at ADP, but I think there's a lot of value there. And then Gunnar Helm, a little past ADP. So good tight end room, I feel like, as well. Let's look at Peanut's team and S-Dot as well. Peanut went 3-5-10-2. Caleb Stroud Murray. So yeah, gained 3 quarterbacks. That's nice. Running back room, hit him early with McCaffrey, Kyron, and Endo. Dobbins in the mid tier, and then Singleton late. Nico, Burden, DJ Moore, Jaden Reed, Jalen McMillan, Kamari DK, Tremere DK, Torrey Horton, Mims, Brazil, Bond. So taking a lot of dart throw guys at the end, young guys with some upside, but you have a nice little 5-man core here. Whether DJ Moore's back with the Bears or not, I guess you say 4-man core through Jaden Reed. But then you threw volume at it as well, and then just 2 tight ends, Kraft and Pitts. I like that. Like I've said before, 2 mid-tier tight ends I think is very fun. And then S-Dot. I think that was the only other one in this draft. Lawrence, Mayfield, Shuck. So again, 3 starters. JT Barkley, double anchor. Javonte, I think, is a nice price. Then Spears and Rashard Smith. Chris Olave, Ladd, Mike Evans, QJ, Xavier Worthy. I think it's a strong 5 receiver room. Even if Evans isn't back, I think he's paying off that price. And I really like Worthy. We talked about Travis Hunter earlier, just so much talent and spike week upside. But then you have some depth here, guys like Trey Tucker, Bailey, Malik Washington to help cover just in case. Tight end, weighted on tight end, really, really solid room with Juwan Johnson and Likely, and then taking a rookie shot on Michael Trigg. So nice drafts. Thanks everyone for joining me for the 3 drafts. Here, I'm going to drop a link to Huheim's channel. He's streaming now. So go over and say hi. Hope everyone is doing well. I won't be back tomorrow, but I will be back on Wednesday. And hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and I will catch you next time. Peace.